Justice Minister hails the appointment of Claudette Thompson as DPP. 16,000 students have used the rural school bus service since its launch in September. 14 days and still no leads on the whereabouts of 12-year-old Jaden Smith.
Jaden, if you are out there, I just want you to come into the police, come into your relatives, they are concerned.
In news from the rest of the world, new report finds hunger rising in Haiti as government pledges a quick response. France's Emmanuel Macron asked newly resigned Prime Minister to try again to form a government. In headline sports, one new face in Jamaica's starting lineup for tonight's big World Cup game against Curacao. In our cover story at 5:35, Claudette Thompson is the second woman to be appointed Director of Public Prosecutions in Jamaica. She succeeds Paula Llewellyn. We'll get reactions from Chair of Jambar's Criminal Practice and Procedure Committee, Anne-Marie Furtado Richards, and JFJ's spokesperson John Clark. In Public Opinion at 6:26, we'll ask Ochima Bay or Negril. Give us your comments by logging on to our Facebook page, Nationwide News Network, and by tweeting us at Nationwide Radio. And message us on WhatsApp at 876-285-5693 or leave a message on Instagram at Nationwide90FM. In the nation's business at 6:40, World Homeless Day is observed globally on October 10, and municipal corporations island-wide are hosting activities to raise awareness about homelessness. The Mayor of Montego Bay, Richard Vernon, the Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, and Chair of the Homeless Committee at the Manchester Municipal Corporation, David Knight, will join us. All these and more as we take you home on air on your mobile, Nationwide 90 FM, RevaNews.ai, and on the Reva News app. It's available on the Google Play and the App Store. This Friday afternoon, it's Friday, October 10, 2025.
If it's news, it's got to be Nationwide 90 FM.
Now to the details. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has invited opposition leader Mark Golding to resume the Vale Royal talks on constitutional reform. The invitation is contained in a letter sent to Mr. Golding today. Nationwide News has seen a copy of the document. It's the latest salvo in the ongoing impasse between the two political leaders over the reform of the country's supreme law. More in this report. The Prime Minister was courteous but firm. He told the opposition leader that his government has a direct mandate from the Jamaican people to prioritize transforming the country into a republic. Dr. Holness told Mark Golding that his administration made a commitment to the Jamaican people when prosecuting the case on constitutional reform in the run-up to the September 3 general election. He said that commitment is laid down in the JLP's election manifesto. The Prime Minister told the opposition leader that the Vale Royal talks have been useful in facilitating frank dialogue and principled compromise. He's proposing to Golding that they return to the talks in the hope of moving forward in a constructive manner. Dr. Holness says the government stands ready to coordinate the necessary logistics to facilitate those talks. But before extending the invitation for direct talks, Dr. Holness clarified his earlier invitation for Mr. Golding to meet with Constitutional Affairs Minister Delroy Chuck. The Prime Minister says that recognizing that Mr. Golding had assumed direct shadow oversight for the constitutional reform agenda, he thought it necessary for the portfolio minister to brief Golding and his team on the restructured ministry and portfolio responsibilities. According to Holness, he thought it was respectful to extend an invitation, which was then backed by a letter from Chuck. The Prime Minister says that meeting was a preliminary one and was not intended to be a substitute for a direct meeting between himself and Mr. Golding. The Prime Minister also used his letter to outline to Mr. Golding the history of what he described as a departure from the understanding that they would work together in good faith to achieve republic status. Mr. Holness said it was always the initial understanding that the leaders would address the matter of the final court in a subsequent phase of the reform process. Holness all but accused Golding of changing the nature of their agreements on constitutional reform at the late stage by insisting that the transition towards a republic be twinned with acceptance of the appellate jurisdiction of the Caribbean Court of Justice. This latest letter follows Mr. Golding's own missive to the Prime Minister, in which he rebuffed Holness's invitation to meet with the Constitutional Affairs Minister on the way forward. Golding had issued a call for a direct meeting between himself and Holness on the matter. The Ministry of Justice is welcoming the appointment of Claudette Thompson as Jamaica's new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. In a statement today, Justice Minister Delroy Chuck describes Ms. Thompson's promotion as well-earned and well-deserved. The ministry says her career, spanning more than 2 decades within the office of the DPP, is marked by steadfast integrity and a tireless commitment to justice. Throughout her career, Ms. Thompson prosecuted numerous criminal and high-profile matters before the parish courts, Supreme Court and the Court of Appeal. Minister Chuck says this record demonstrates her deep understanding of the law and her strong commitment to due process. He also highlights her leadership and mentorship within the prosecutorial ranks, which he says helped to strengthen the capacity and integrity of the office she now leads. Now, over 16,000 students are utilizing the rural school bus service daily. That's according to the Transport Minister Darrell Vaz. He made the disclosure during a media briefing today. Colicia Wright reports.
It's been 1 month since the rural school buses have been running. The program officially got underway on Monday, September 8th. The program's launch saw 60 of the 110 buses deployed on various routes island-wide for students. Despite being met with strident criticisms, Transport Minister Darrell Vaz announced that over 16,000 students make use of the service daily.
A total of 59 buses were scheduled and dispatched across 12 key locations. As of October 7th, 2025, the average amount of students or seats that are being utilized per day is 16,600. We had projected approximately 15,000. We have actually surpassed that, and bear in mind that's with the 60 buses, not the 100 buses. So obviously that number will increase when we move to the phase 1A.
He also noted that the ministry is still on track to deliver the remaining 44 buses by end of term.
Commitment was for 100 buses for the September term, 60 that will be rolled out in September 2025, and the other 40 will be rolled out between September and the end of school term 2025. So we can say that we have in fact met the first deadline of the 60 buses handed over to the JUTC with 6 as contingency, 10%. And we are now in the second part of that first 110 buses, which will be obviously the 44 buses that are going to be handed over to the JUTC prior to the end of this term.
Minister Vaz reassured parents that the technology installed on the buses are keeping track of the driver's conduct, citing that there have been several infractions.
Several minor infractions have already been flagged by the technology, and the JUTC's internal disciplinary measures have been used to mitigate these infractions. My direction is zero tolerance. You are traveling and the drivers are carrying students. So it's a complete difference to whether they are traveling with car or whatever else. This, you may not get a second chance. So if there is actually an infraction, it has to be treated with a matter of urgency to avoid the possibility of that same driver having another infraction that may not end as the first one did.
Based on feedback received since the launch of the program, Minister Vaz outlined adjustments that have been made so far.
Feedback from operators, schools and communities have resulted in several adjustments. Departure times in some cases have been shifted by 30 to 45 minutes later for key corridors. So what we were finding is at the early time, the first trip, if it was too early, basically the kids were not getting there in time and therefore the bus was leaving. Infrastructure limitations, certain routes are being adjusted through revised turnaround points. So I must say that there are some of the interior roads that are challenging because of the width and the windiness, etc. So we have to find special points to turn around. Public education initiatives are being implemented in schools to promote safe boarding and compliance with the stop sign displayed.
Khaleesi Wright for Nationwide News.
Meanwhile, the minister announced that the cashless payment system for the bus service will come into effect on November 3.
November 1st is fast approaching, and of course, we will then initiate the fare collection system, electronic fare collection system, which will be at a cost of $50 Jamaican per trip, per student. And again, I want to bring us back to what the reality is, which is anywhere between $600 and $1,000 per student per day, and in some cases higher than that, which is costing the education system a lack of attendance by virtue of affordability and all the other things that goes with it.
The cashless system is one of the features designed to enhance security and convenience for students. The minister highlighted that the students will have the chance to start testing the system from October 13. He urged parents to ensure that the children register to get the cards to use the system.
The system will begin on Monday, October 13, 2025. All students who have already registered on receipt of their student transport cards are encouraged to begin using the cards. No charge will be applied in the next 2 weeks. So it's good to use them to make sure they're working and obviously understand how they work, etc., etc. So I'm encouraging all parents and students to check with your school, check with JUTC's website, social media, to see how do you go about getting your card, and don't wait on the school to contact you. You will be proactive, especially with 2 weeks left, to make sure that your child has a card.
Darrell Vaz, the Transport Minister. Police say a search at the home of missing Manchester schoolboy Jaden Smith yielded no results. Members of the Specialized Operations and Missing Persons Desk went to the child's home in Wales, Newport this morning. Commanding Officer for the Manchester Police, Superintendent Kerry Duncan, provided an update to our news centre.
The police exercise incorporated our members from Specialized Operations and our own local police officers. Our drone team and our K9 division assisted in the search. We searched primarily in the area where Jaden resides. Very expansive search, I might say. And at the end of the search, we came up empty-handed.
The 12-year-old was reported missing 2 Fridays ago. He was reportedly spotted several times. He has been reportedly spotted several times since his disappearance. Superintendent Duncan says the search will continue.
Still hopeful that we'll find Jaden alive, and going forward we'll just continue working on the tips that we're getting, exploring all the information that we're getting in an effort to find Jaden Smith, hopefully alive.
Meanwhile, the police are appealing to Jaden to come home. Since his disappearance, hundreds of Jamaicans have joined search parties trying to find him. Friday's search party included members of the Specialized Operations, K9 Unit, and the Missing Persons Desk. Crime Officer for Manchester, DSP Dennis Simpson, appealed to Jaden to return home. He's also warning the public that it's a crime to hide missing children.
We are here today just elevating our efforts in locating Jaden. We'll continue. We'll leave no effort unturned until we locate Jaden. And Jaden, if you are out there, I just want you to come into the police, come into your relatives. They are concerned. And I want to implore the public, if there's anyone out there who knows the whereabouts of Jaden, just to cooperate with us so, the relatives can unite with him and be happy again. It is an offense. It is an offense to be harboring Jaden without reporting this to the police to assist our efforts in finding him. So if you are doing so, please desist.
DSP Simpson also urged persons not to submit false information about the child's whereabouts.
Today, we are just extending our efforts in Wales District, Newport. We have support, drone support. Today, we have support from cadaver dogs. We are just using all the resources available to us in advancing our effort in locating Jaden. On a day-to-day basis, information comes into us which we have exhausted, and we are also of the view that persons are relating information that is not true. There are a lot of pranks coming in. So I want to use this medium just to advise the public not to make prank calls. This is a very serious matter.
DSP Dennis Simpson, the crime officer for Manchester. You're listening to the news on Nationwide at 5. More after these.
Annual eye examinations not only assess your vision, but may be life-saving. Eye tests may detect serious health issues that go beyond your vision. Call IQ Optical to schedule your comprehensive eye test today.
The time by IQ Optical is...
It's 16 minutes after 5.
Rentokil Initial offers air purification solutions with triple filtration and unique auto-sensing capabilities that neutralizes malodor and replaces it with clean air. Call Rentokil Initial at 926-4236 for more details.
The temperature by Rentokil is
32 degrees Celsius here in Kingston, 28 out west in Montego Bay.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. You know, those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Continuing the news, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the shortage of skilled labourers continues to pose a major challenge to Jamaica's growth.
When I speak with contractors and developers, they are not so much complaining about financing these days. What they do complain about is the availability of skilled labour. It is a real challenge, a real problem.
Dr. Holness was speaking at the groundbreaking ceremony for the Boot 2 commercial complex in Draxhall, St. Ann today. Employers in the private sector continue to bemoan the shortage of skilled labour in the workforce. The issue has prompted calls for the government to consider importing skilled labour to fill critical gaps. Calls have also been made for Jamaicans to take advantage of the free training opportunities being offered at the Heart NSTA Trust. Dr. Holness is urging contractors to work with the agency to strengthen the local workforce.
When you're doing your project, that you get in touch with the Heart Trust NSTA and in parallel work with them to train some of the labor that you will take on, not just in skills, but in attitude as well, because that would be of supreme benefit to the society generally to have persons trained, but it will be of benefit to you in the future.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. The Financial Investigations Division, the FID, and the Casino Gaming Commission, the CGC, have signed a memorandum of understanding aimed at strengthening cooperation in the prevention of financial crimes linked to casino operations. At the signing, Chief Technical Director of the FID, Dennis Chung, described the agreement as a major step in combating illicit financial flows that threaten the country's economy.
Yeah, this MOU strengthens how we identify and disrupt illicit financial flows that threaten Jamaica's economy by formalizing faster information exchange, structured referrals, and sector-focused dialogues. We can move earlier and more decisively against money laundering risk in casino gaming, protecting, of course, the integrity of our financial system.
That's Dennis Chung, Chief Technical Director at the FID.
World in a Minute is brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
The World in a Minute.
Haiti's government has pledged a quick response to the growing hunger crisis in the troubled Caribbean country. This comes as a new report warned that more than half the population is experiencing crisis levels of hunger. The Integrated Food Security Phase Classification, the leading international authority on hunger crises, says almost 6 million Haitians are at the crisis level, while almost 2 million of those are facing emergency levels of hunger. Last year, some 5.4 million Haitians were at the crisis level, with numbers expected to only increase next year. The report says the growing influence of armed groups combined with structural problems and unfavorable climatic conditions continues to affect the food security of the Haitian people. French President Emmanuel Macron has reappointed Sébastien Lecornu as Prime Minister just days after his resignation. Macron asked the former Prime Minister to try again to form a government and produce a budget in a bid to end the country's political deadlock. His reappointment followed days of intense negotiations and came less than a week after he resigned amid infighting in his freshly named government. In the United States, the White House has blasted the Nobel Committee for not awarding the Peace Prize to President Donald Trump. White House Communications Director Stephen Chung accused the committee of placing politics over peace for awarding its most coveted prize to Venezuelan pro-democracy activist Maria Correa Machado over Trump. On Friday, the committee awarded Machado the Peace Prize for her tireless work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela. Trump has been outspoken about his desire for the award, taking credit for ending several global conflicts.
World in a Minute was brought to you by ABC Electrical Sales. We make things as easy as ABC. Hose assembly and supply, equipping Jamaica for success.
And Charles O'Connor Consulting Network, COCN, driven by international accounting standards, modern technology, and integrity.
Recapping the top stories making nationwide news at this hour, Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness has told the opposition leader that he has a mandate from the Jamaican people to transform Jamaica into a republic. Holness is inviting Golding to New Vale Royal talks on the matter. Justice Ministry hails appointment of Claudette Thompson as DPP, and 16,000 students have used the rural school bus service since its launch in September. I'm Ricardo Brooks. You can find the news on our website at rivanews.ai and on the Riva News app, available on the Google Play and the App Store. News next, the headlines at 6.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for two along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Sports at 5 is brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Sports here on Nationwide 90 FM. I'm Wayne Walker. Ian Frey of Inter Miami will make his international debut for Jamaica when they face Curacao in a crucial World Cup qualifier at the Aguilo Hato Stadium in Willemstad in just under 30 minutes from now. Well, just a little over 30 minutes to be exact. Frey will form part of a four-man defense with Richard King, Ethan Pinnock, and Amarai Bell. Bobby Reid, Dexter Lembikisa, and John Russell will play in front of the defense, while coach Steve McLaren retains the front three from the last game. Bailey Kalamateri, Tyrese Campbell, and Ronaldo Cephas. This Group B top of the table showdown will see the Jamaicans looking to widen their gap atop the summit. With a third victory from as many starts, Curacao can leapfrog the Jamaicans if they manage to take all 3 points tonight. Meanwhile, Curacao, nicknamed the Blue Waves, are in second place on 4 points. With the stakes so high, the Jamaican coach Steve McLaren is warning his team against complacency.
And I said to look, we're 1/3 of the way through, got to keep momentum going. We've gathered that momentum in terms of results. We've got to keep that going in terms of results. So, we have an opportunity. It's going to be difficult. The surface, Curacao are a very good team, used to this, very good footballing team. Keep possession, got some very good attacking players. This ain't going to be easy, and you're absolutely right. We need to be at our very best to get a result.
Now, Steve McLaren, Jamaica's first and only appearance at the FIFA World Cup, came in 1998 in France. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago were leading Bermuda 1-0 after 14 minutes in the group's other game, now on at the National Stadium in Devonshire, Bermuda. Dante Seeley, the Major League Soccer star, has scored for Trinidad and Tobago. He did so after 10 minutes. And Member of Parliament for South West St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green, is new chairman of the Ray and Nephew Jamaica Premier League outfit Treasure Beach. Green was also Agriculture, Mining and Fisheries Minister, replaces Jason Hensel, who stepped down a week before the start of the new season due to financial reasons. At the time, Hensel told Nationwide Sports that prospective sponsors and donors were not willing to commit to the project for one reason or another.
I tried my hardest reaching out to, my contacts in the hotel sector, which is where I would have most of my relationship. Also corporate Jamaica. I have a business that has a lot of vendors and providers. But, with the hurricane passing in our area last year, and just the amount of uncertainty in the world, there's a lot of anxiety. Of course, the general election being called. Persons I found were just being much more cautious this time.
Jason Hensel, former chairman of Treasure Beach. Treasure Beach are currently 8th in the standings. After 7 rounds of games, they won twice, they've drawn twice, they lost on 3 occasions. Treasure Beach will be in action on Sunday. On match day 8, they'll be home to Waterhouse at St. Elizabeth Technical. Yashasvi Jaiswal continues dream run in Test cricket with a commanding unbeaten 173 as India dominated with West Indies on the opening day of the second Test in Delhi. The hosts, opting to bat after winning the toss, finished the day in a commanding position, 318 for 2. Jaiswal, who has rapidly emerged as one of India's most reliable top-order batters, was in sublime form throughout the day. His innings was a perfect blend of patience and aggression as he punished anything loose while respecting the good deliveries. This was how the 23-year-old brought up his 7th Test century.
99 not out. Left arm spinner in front of him. Just like that. 100 number 7 for Yashasvi Jaiswal. 100. Very, very well crafted, respecting the conditions, the opposition, backing himself, staying in there and saying, if I stand in long enough, you can't get me out.
Sai Sudarshan moved closer to solving India's number 3 problem with an impressive 87. KL Rahul chipped in with a fluent 38 before falling to spinner Jomil Warkan, who bagged 2 for 60. It was gone 2 for 60 so far. And the West Indies assistant coach Floyd Reefer admits it was a difficult day for the Caribbean team.
Obviously, you come to India on good batting wickets. Today was a tough day at the office for everyone. I thought that Jaiswal, he batted well. Obviously, 160 or not, I thought he played really well. But cricket is like that, where you come to India and you meet good wickets. So it's an opportunity for our bowlers again to really learn how to bowl line and line for long periods of time. I thought the guys hung in there pretty well today in terms of the lines and lines that they bowl. So it's another opportunity for them to come back tomorrow again and try to better what they did today.
As West Indies batting coach Floyd Reefer, 3 Jamaicans are scheduled to be in action at the second Atlas All-Women Track Meet at the Icon Stadium in New York City this evening. It's set to get underway at 6:20 Jamaica time. Janelle Smith, who anchored Jamaica's women's 4x100 meters relay team to silver at the World Championships in Tokyo last month, will line up in the 100 meters alongside Kayla White and Brittany Brown, who were part of the US team which won gold in Tokyo, and Marie-Josée Chalou of the Côte d'Ivoire. Megan Tapper, who suffered an injury on the eve of the 100 meters hurdles heats in Japan, is down to face the Olympic champion Masai Russell of the USA in her pet event, while Natoya Gould-Toppin is entered for the 800 meters alongside the newly minted world champion out of Great Britain, Keely Hodgkinson. One of the highlights of the meet will be a special presentation to the Jamaican sprint star Shelley and Fraser Price by tennis great Serena Williams for her contribution to athletics. And finally in sports at this time, Femke Bol, 2-time world champion in the women's women's 400 meters hurdles in an Instagram post earlier today announced her dramatic switch to the 800 meters. The 25-year-old Dutch star, who along with the American Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone have dominated the event, with the pair running 9 of the fastest times in the event. McLaughlin-Levrone has added the flat 400 meters to the hurdles, and in her first time running the event at the Global Championships, she won gold in Tokyo last month in the second fastest time in history, 47.78 seconds. She in the process became the first woman to win in 40 years to dip below 48 seconds. Bowles' move to the 2-lap event will put her on a collision course with the Brit, the reigning world champion Keely Hodgkinson, and Kenya's 2-time world champion Mary Moura. Following Bowles' announcement, Hodgkinson posted the caption, quote, "Can't wait to share the start line." So says all of us. That's sports. We're going to be back with more at 6:05.
Sports at 5 was brought to you by Total Tools. Total Tools, every tool, every trade. From Kingston to the world, from Montego Bay to new adventures, and from Ocherias to endless possibilities. Wherever you're headed, we will proudly take you there. Jamaica's airport, your global gateway. The temperature brought to you by the Airports Authority of Jamaica is
31 degrees Celsius here in the nation's capital, Kingston. It's 28 in the western city, Montego Bay.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Hey, did you hear? JUTC just launched Rural Express routes.
Really? Where to?
Travel to and from Kingston with direct routes to Ocherias, Montego Bay, Negril, Mandeville, Maypen, and coming soon, Port Antonio.
Wow, that sounds convenient, but must be pricey.
Not at all. Special introductory fare just $2,000. Except for Maypen, that's just $1,500. The JUTC Rural Express is here. Your ticket to comfort, connection, and convenience at a price that fits your budget. Whether it's family, school, or a weekend getaway, travel to Jamaica's top destinations with ease and enjoy a smooth, stress-free ride. Visit our social media at JUTC Ltd or log on to www.jutc.gov.jm for schedules.
For all your electrical needs, visit ABC Electrical Sales. They stock a wide variety of electrical supplies, including plugs, switches, panel boards, and conduits, plus energy-saving fixtures. ABC Electrical Sales stocks brands like GE, Siemens, Philips, Cutler Hammer, and Allen Bradley. They also offer free island-wide delivery just to suit your needs. Visit them at Shop 8, Hagley Park Plaza, Kingston 10, or call 876-754-3714-5 or 876-754-3825-8. ABC Electrical Sales, for a better choice in the electrical business.
Mysterious, magical, mesmerizing. Wouldn't you like to experience the natural beauty of the Northern Lights? You could be the lucky one if you use your cards right. Spend with your Sagicor Bank credit card from September 29 to November 13, 2025, and you could win an all-inclusive cruise vacation for 2 along the Norwegian coast to see the Northern Lights. Chase the Northern Lights with your Sagicor Bank credit card. The more you spend it, the closer you are to your dream adventure. Enjoy the best rewards ever. Conditions apply. Authorized by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come and wine with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat,
life skills,
global connect,
and
Bust the Youth.
That's the Talk Up Youth radio show. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth. Don't miss it.
It's undeniable that we should be together.
The true beauty of music is that it connects people. It carries a message. It speaks to you. It changes you. And that's exactly what we do just for you every Sunday as we take you to Urban Paradise, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Urban Paradise is our weekly musical journey that will serve up 110 glorious minutes of positive storytelling through music, mixed in with inspirational features to provoke thought and to heal the soul.
You're like a dream come true, just wanna be with you.
So join me, Diane Ashton Smith, this and every Sunday, 9:10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media. Urban Paradise, opening our hearts, connecting to others.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Loan vibes, loan laughs, and loan entertainment. Come on the road with we. Cause when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. We forget to big up my DJ. DJ Jerome the Shell Boss, I'm gonna make your bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tune. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
Exciting news! The Design Studio on Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
Good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us here on Nationwide at 5. I'm Ricardo Brooks.
Good afternoon to you listeners and viewers on YouTube. I'm Tyrone Reed. How are you, Sir Ricardo?
I'm doing well. How are you?
We're giving thanks, man. I try and go bankly, no?
Good. Listeners, Claudette Thompson has been appointed Jamaica's new Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP. She becomes the second woman to hold the country's top prosecutorial post, and she succeeds Paula Llewellyn. Her appointment takes effect on October 13. That's Monday.
Yes. Now, the Office of the Services Commission, in a letter dated October 7, 2025, informed the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions of Thompson's appointment. Thompson, who currently serves as Senior Deputy DPP, has acted as Director on at least 3 occasions during Llewellyn's tenure.
This gives her extensive experience in leading the prosecutorial arm of the state. Of course, she's now acting as DPP, and the human rights lobby group Jamaicans for Justice, they're welcoming Ms. Thompson's appointment. In offering congratulations, the group called on her to ensure that the office provides greater transparency, stronger victim engagement, and continued accountability in the justice system.
In a statement on Friday, listeners and viewers, JFJ said it was encouraged by Thompson's early efforts as acting DPP to foster open dialogue with stakeholders while maintaining the independence of the office. And Justice Minister Delroy Chuck is describing Ms. Thompson's promotion as both well-earned and well-deserved.
Joining us now, we have member and spokesperson of Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ John Clark. And we're still trying to make contact. We had her, but we lost her, chair of the Criminal Practice and Procedure Committee of the Jamaican Bar Association, Anne-Marie Furtado Richards. John Clark, good afternoon.
Good afternoon
to you, John Clark.
Good afternoon, and thanks for having me.
John, you get demotion, man. I thought you were chairman.
No, I was chairman, but I have relinquished that post.
Oh, I see. All right, so you are a defense attorney, and so you would have faced off against Ms. Thompson in court, I assume. What kind of attorney is she?
Well, she was part of an experienced prosecutor, and we're happy, and we welcome her to her elevation in this particular post. The previous director had served the public very well for a period of 17 years, so she has very large shoes to fill, and we know that she's the second female director, and we're looking forward to her continuing many of the good examples that were set by her predecessors, and specifically continuing the public engagement, which was something that the former DPP, Mr. Royden, excelled particularly well in ensuring that the public was kept informed, specifically many times directly from the DPP herself in relation to exactly what is happening in the office, and sometimes when the office had to take some very deeply unpopular decision, not necessarily in the interests of the public mob, but following justice wherever it flowed. And sometimes justice may necessitate that in some cases prosecutions not be brought, and the former DPP was very careful to ensure that in her usual style, very detailed press release was sent out explaining the office's decision. And not only did she send out those very detailed press releases, she also came forward and made herself available to the media to be interviewed and to explain her difficult decisions. And that was very necessary to ensure the public was aware as to how that office made many of its decisions.
John Clark, I think it's the generally accepted view that DPP Paula Llewellyn did well as the country's lead prosecutor. And you just mentioned about the shoes that Ms. Thompson has to fill. But what are the areas in which she could offer some significant improvement in the operations of the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions? What are some of those areas?
Well, for starters, I would not purport. Hello?
Yes, we're hearing you.
We're hearing you.
So I would purport at this time to indicate what exactly are the areas that she would need to improve. But what she will have to do, and no doubt every new officer will have to do, is do a complete and audit in relation to exactly what is taking place before her, try and get a full landscape as to what are the plans that Ms. Llewellyn had, because not all the plans that persons have could have been completed even in the 17 years that she had. And there are some very good plans that we are aware of that she had that would need to also be completed by her successor. But importantly, she'll have to stamp her own style in relation to certain new developments in the law, in relation to, for example, how quickly can her office make decisions in relation to the decision to charge police officers, and how quickly those decisions can actually be implemented. And one look forward in particular to her examining where, for example, different units may need to be created to ensure the office is as efficient as it can be and as prepared as it can be. And in some cases, review the avalanche of cases that are launched upon the court by police officers and in some cases, mature consideration by that office may be necessary to ensure that cases that are without merit can be examined and removed from the list as quickly as possible to allow the ones that are more deserving of examination, in fact, have a more reasonable prospect of a conviction being laid before the court and prosecuted rather than having cases drag on, in some cases for 8 years. And after 8 years of being dragged on and the police officers being given numerous extension of times to try and bring material, prosecution need to prosecute the cases, ultimately having to be dismissed because there's no real prospect of a reasonable conviction.
We're up on a break. We're talking to member and spokesperson for Jamaicans for Justice, JFJ John Clark. We also have with us Chair of the Criminal Practice and Procedure Committee of the Jamaican Bar Association, Anne-Marie Furtado Richards. After the break, we'll hear from Mrs. Furtado Richards.
Protecting your personal data is a priority for the Jamaica Customs Agency. We urge you to use the agency's official platforms to conduct your business. The time by the Jamaica Customs Agency is...
It's 15 minutes to 6.
Bird Shack fried chicken always ready. Bird Shack, original crispy. Bird Shack, Cajun spicy. Bird Shack, a barbecue. Bird Shack, we are go a Bird Shack.
The temperature brought to you by Bird Shack Fried Chicken in Montego Bay and Ocho Rios is...
It's 28 degrees Celsius in Montego Bay. It's also 28 in Ocho Rios.
Is your money idling when it could be thriving? With CIBC Caribbean's fixed deposit offering, you can take charge of your cash. With 50,000 Jamaican to start, choose terms from 30 days to 2 years. Lock in your funds and enjoy premium rates guaranteed to grow your wealth. Whether you're eyeing short or long-term gains, our fixed deposit account puts you firmly in control of your money. Now is the time to open a CIBC fixed deposit account and start earning more today. CIBC, ambitions made real.
MSME operators, the NWC MSME Amnesty is a lifeline. Grab it. Apply between September 1 and November 30, 2025. Visit nwcjamaica.com. Email us at customercare@nwc.com.jm. You can also visit any commercial office or dial 888-NWC. Get a 50% debt write-off on your small commercial account if you pay all other outstanding debts or sign a payment agreement to do so in 3 months. Apply today.
Thank you so much for Go ahead, Tyrone.
Welcome back. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us inside Nationwide at 5. We're talking about the recent appointment to the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, the new DPP. Yes, that's what we're discussing. We have with us Chair of the Criminal Practice and Procedure Committee of the Jamaican Bar Association, Anne-Marie Furtado Richards. And I'd love just to get your reaction to Ms. Thompson's appointment, Mrs. Furtado Richards.
Good afternoon, Tyrone, if I might be permitted to call you by your first name and Ricardo.
Please. Good afternoon.
As well as to your listeners. First of all, I'd like to publicly extend my heartfelt congratulations to Ms. Thompson. I must confess that I had the privilege of working along with her during my tenure at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions when I started in 2007 there. And I can confidently say that she's a person of remarkable competence, integrity, and fairness. And so we really would wish to extend our congratulations to her. And we, the members of the private bar, I must say that we look forward to working closely with her as she embarks on the important chapter of her leadership. And we offer our full support and wish her every success as she continues to serve the people of Jamaica. So, again, congratulations to Ms. Thompson.
Mrs. Furtado Richards, help our listeners to understand how the DPP either assists or guides criminal practice and procedure in Jamaica.
All right, so Section 94 of the Constitution tells you the powers of the DPP. And as regards to how it is that they guide, the clerk of the court currently operates under the Parish Court Act, but the Director of Public Prosecution does assist with the clerk of the courts who are in the parish court the office itself, they prosecute all matters except matters dealing with the JDF in all spheres of the courts within the island of Jamaica. So we're talking about they can do matters in the parish court, they do matters in all circuit courts, and they do matters in the Court of Appeal. So it's a lot of matters that the DPP's office has conduct of. They also give advice to various persons, anybody who might have any entity that might have queries. They can write to the DPP with regards to seeking advice and opinion. So they're very integral in the justice system. And I must say, although I had left from as far back as 2012, but I believe that I can confidently say that then we were short-staffed, and I know that now they're still short-staffed. So they do a lot of work with insufficient staff.
Yeah.
John Clark, if we could bring him back in, Sir Ricardo. John Clark, I wanted to just ask, because just this bit seemed a bit curious to me, that in offering congratulations, the JFJ called on the new DPP to ensure the office provides greater transparency. I know it went on to touch on some other things, including stronger victim engagement and continued accountability in the justice system. But one would say that Paula Llewellyn revolutionized this whole business of transparency from the office of the DPP. Can it get more transparent, John Clark? I wondered about that when I read that bit.
Well, for starters, what we were making reference to specifically, and if you look in the press release, we had spoken about the need of an annual report being provided by that particular office in relation to certain prosecutions being conducted without specifically providing the names of the victims. And what we were looking at was how, for example, other prosecutorial authorities in the Commonwealth would operate. And we know in particular, my colleague had touched on the fact of the clerk of the court, that the former DPP had plans, in fact, I wouldn't say campaign, but had indicated that it would be ideal in the future, and there was some fusion to be done between the clerk of the courts and the DPP's office. And we know in particular that there was a particular time where, unfortunately, where she was not in office, and there was persons who were acting in her stead. And we noted that during that particular time, the engagement that was typical of the Paula Llewellyn style did not continue during the time when, as to the same extent as it did while she was DPP, during the time when persons were deputized in her acting in her shoes. That's one. But even though there are many good things that Ms. Llewellyn has done, we would hope that this new DPP will look at all the good examples across the Commonwealth in relation to the Crown Prosecutorial Service, in relation to how other DPPs operate, and adapt as best as possible to a more transparent manner in terms of annual reports, one, and in terms of how it is that DPP office actually find a more efficient manner to weed out some of the hopeless cases, to ensure that the heavy workload that the prosecutors have to endure in relation to cases that cannot realistically amount to a conviction can be identified earlier in manners that, for example, are done in England, and that ensure that only cases that perhaps should be prosecuted engage the court staff.
John, I want to stay with that matter of Go ahead, Mrs. Fitzgerald.
Sorry if I might interject. I have not been at the office well, as I said, from 2012, but my recollection is that a report is usually prepared about giving the statistics of the operations of the DPP's office. So, I mean, we can always check to see if it is that still prevails.
Yeah.
And that report is public, because that's a concern that we have. To what extent the public can go on the website and see it.
Yeah. I want to stay with that point, though, about transparency, John, because you say when people deputized in Ms. Llewellyn instead, we really were met with silence. And Ms. Thompson has acted as DPP on a number of occasions. I think at least 3 stints she had at acting DPP. And yes, certainly we in the media, we had a great difficulty in reaching Ms. Thompson. But I wonder if we're being unfair to her, because Paula Llewellyn had her own style, her own way of doing things. And should we burden Ms. Thompson with that same expectation?
Well, in my view, Ms. Thompson will have to make a decision in relation to exactly what will be her style. But what we're concerned about, and I'm making an understatement in this respect, is that whether it is Ms. Thompson herself or it is actually identified officers, even if the office itself hires a PR person to do it, or what we're hoping in the future that there will be somebody who can speak on behalf of the prosecutorial authority in Jamaica to explain the decision and to engage the media. We do not want to specifically, as an organization, see Jamaica return to the stage where there are questions in the mind of the public as to how the prosecutorial authority came to a decision, and the public is essentially left silent.
Yeah.
An interesting suggestion there. The style may differ, but the substance of transparency needs to be maintained and improved upon. I'd love to hear you, Mrs. Furtado Richards, on what John Clark suggested in terms of an annual report, not necessarily simply just now a list of cases, but Paula Llewellyn, he said, hinted at it, and I vaguely remember a reference to that. Would that be a good idea, Mrs. Furtado Richards, for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions to put out an annual report?
Well, Tyrone, I'm going to say that at this point in time, it's a very difficult question to ask, because my question would be, what information would be put into this annual report? What is the content that we are looking for? Is it that John is saying that we will not put the name of persons there, but what is it that we would want to have disclosed?
John?
Well, specifically in our press release, it asks for key metrics including cases prosecuted, offense type, conviction rate, case processing times, and disposition. And in particular, one of the concerns we have had, Ms. Richards, is that from our organization's perspective, and we have provided a lot of assistance to victims of police shooting, and sometimes these shootings are controversial. And we as an organization, we're never present, so we can't see whether or not this, in fact, justified or unjustified shooting. But sometimes these victims will say that for a matter of perhaps more than months, they'll be waiting on a decision to be made from the DPP's office in relation to whether or not persons should be charged. So as it relates to key metrics that the public can utilize to see exactly how the prosecutorial authority is performing and to compare it in even the same manner that we can with the court reports that are done by the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court, it will go very far away in Jamaica and having a greater idea as to the workload that is being undertaken by the prosecutors and having a greater insight into exactly what is being done by this most crucial body. We must never forget that the prosecutorial authority is subsidized, in fact, fully by taxpayers' money. It would be very good for taxpayers to know exactly how that money is being spent.
And how do you respond to that, Mrs. Furtado?
Again, I don't want it to appear as if I am the mouth speaker for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution. If you're going to ask me about my personal experience, I will tell you that the work is overwhelming because the limited numbers of, I will speak about my experience. So I was a deputy to the extradition unit at one point. I was also a member of the financial crimes unit at one point. I had my regular workload, as in I would be in the criminal courts, whether gun court or whether in trial courts, but then the Court of Appeal. Whilst doing that, I had a desk full of rulings to do. So in terms of having a rubric as to how, in terms of to see how long the turnover time period, perhaps it's an information that the public would wish to know. But again, we would have to balance that with the workload that the office has to carry. Remember, again, I state I am not the mouth speaker for the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, and I last worked there in 2012. So I cannot say that what prevailed then prevails now. And as well as
I'm hearing a no then. You're saying no to an annual report? That's just too much?
No, I'm not saying that at all. Not at all. Remember, I said that to my knowledge, something is prepared. What John is asking is whether or not, what John is saying is that he's not aware of that being public. Again, I cannot say that it is public at this point in time. So an annual report, certainly, for persons to even appreciate what takes place in the office. I know that Ms. Llewellyn's platform was one of transparency in terms of she would send out press release from time to time so persons would actually see and know what a prosecutor had to go through into their day-to-day work. So I would continue with that. But in terms of perhaps because I worked there, I don't know the extent of how transparent John wants and how possible that is. In terms of information, again, I ask, what if information has been provided? Is it that it's not sufficient? What it is that is required?
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I can't speak to say that those information should not be provided. But persons want to know how it is that these offices are operated, and I do not have any issue with that.
Yeah. We're out of time, but I do want to say, Tyrone, Mrs. Furtado Richards, John Clark, I echo the sentiment. I do hope that the office of the DPP remains transparent and the DPP or her subordinates make themselves available to answer questions. I have to tell you, though, I'm not very hopeful because, as I said, in the acting stint, we were met with radio silence. So I hope that changes.
Might be a feature of the person not being the DPP, but just acting.
Well,
fair. It will be different.
Fair.
I'm grateful, Tyrone, for you being...
Well, fair. I'm just saying, I'm hoping that's the case. I'm hoping that's the case.
But John raised a great suggestion. They perhaps could go the route of hiring a communications person, which would work as well.
Well, that person would have to be a lawyer.
Tyrone, when you talk about funding, speak to the minister.
And that person would have to be an attorney at law to be able to explain in the way the public
not necessarily. He wouldn't be.
I think Miss Llewellyn has set a high bar, Tyrone. I think people would expect the PR person not just to come with the fluff of the PR, but actually know the nuts and bolts of the law.
Like I said, the communications person would communicate what the office wants to be communicated, right? Yeah. So it could work that way as well.
All right, we have to leave it there out of time. Thank you both for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thank you both of you. Yes.
Okay, then enjoy your night.
Headlines are next.
The time brought to you by Guardian Life. Live secure, live easy is
2 minutes after 6.
Nationwide headlines at 6.
Good evening with the headlines at 6. I'm Shalois Michael. Over 16,000 students are now utilizing the rural school bus service daily. That's according to Transport Minister Darrell Vaz. He made the disclosure during a media briefing on Friday.
A total of 59 buses were scheduled and dispatched across 12 key locations. As of October 7th, 2025, the average amount of students or seats that are being utilized per day is 16,600. We had projected approximately 15,000. We have actually surpassed that, and bear in mind that's with the 60 buses, not the 100 buses. So obviously that number will increase when we move to the phase 1A.
Minister Vaz adds that the ministry is still on track to deliver the remaining 44 buses by the end of term. He says a cashless payment system for the bus service will also come in effect in November.
November 1st is fast approaching, and of course, we will then initiate the fare collection system, electronic fare collection system, which will be at a cost of $50 Jamaican per trip, per student. And again, I want to bring us back to what the reality is, which is anywhere between $600 and $1,000 per student per day, and in some cases higher than that, which is costing the education system a lack of attendance by virtue of affordability and all the other things that goes with it.
Darla Vaz, Minister of Transport. Police say a search at the home of missing Manchester schoolboy Jaden Smith yielded no results. Members of the Specialised Operations and Missing Persons Desk went to the child's home in Wales Newport on Friday morning. Commanding Officer for the Manchester Division, Superintendent Kerry Duncan, provided the update to our news centre.
So today's exercise incorporated our members from Specialized Operations and our own local police officers. Our drone team and our K9 division assisted in the search. We searched primarily in the area where Jaden resides. Very expansive search, I might say. And at the end of the search, we came up empty-handed.
The 12-year-old was reported missing 2 Fridays ago. He has reportedly been spotted several times since his disappearance. Superintendent Duncan says the search will continue.
Still hopeful that we'll find Jaden alive, and going forward we'll just continue working on the tips that we're getting, exploring all the information that we're getting in an effort to find Jaden Smith, hopefully alive.
Superintendent Kerry Duncan, Commanding Officer for the Manchester Division. Meanwhile, the police are appealing to Jaden to come home. Crime Officer for Manchester, DSP Dennis Simpson, is warning the public that it's a crime to hide missing children.
We are here today just elevating our efforts in locating Jaden. We'll continue. We'll leave no effort unturned until we locate Jaden. And Jaden, if you are out there, I just want you to come into the police, come into your relatives, they are concerned. And I want to implore the public, if there's anyone out there who knows the whereabouts of Jaden, just to cooperate with us so, the relatives can unite with him and be happy again. It is an offense. It is an offense to be harboring Jaden without reporting this to the police to assist our efforts in finding him. So if you are doing so, please desist.
DSP Dennis Simpson, Crime Officer for Manchester. Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness says the shortage of skilled labourers continues to pose a major challenge to Jamaica's growth.
When I speak with contractors and developers, they are not so much complaining about financing these days. What they do complain about is the availability of skilled labor. It is a real challenge, a real problem.
Employers in the private sector continue to bemoan the shortage of skilled labor in the potential workforce. Calls have also been made for Jamaicans to take advantage of the free training opportunities being offered at the Heart NSTA Trust. Dr. Holness is urging contractors to work with the agency to strengthen the workforce.
When you're doing your project, that you get in touch with the Heart Trust NSTA and in parallel work with them to train some of the labor that you will take on, not just in skills, but in attitude as well, because that would be of supreme benefit to the society generally to have persons trained, but it will be of benefit to you in the future.
Prime Minister Dr. Andrew Holness. Those were the headlines at 6. I'm Shaloy Smichael. Sports is next.
Every school is free of unhealthy, ultra-processed products. Those high in salt, fats, and sugar. If only that weren't a dream. The reality is that many children have an unhealthy diet at school, and 23% of them are overweight or obese. This can lead to hypertension, heart disease, and type 2 diabetes. Let's protect our children's right to health with a policy for schools that prevents unhealthy food marketing and ensures access to nutritious foods. The time is now. Let's implement the National School Nutrition Policy. A message from the Heart Foundation of Jamaica and partners.
Enough power tool, big to small. Jackama figure dig the wall. Upper Total Tools. Beat back a figure trim the lawn. We have everything a job demand. Total Tools. We rent them, sell them and fix them. Also give Total Tools a call. When I say home improvement, landscape construction, a Total Tools are your option. Home improvement, landscape construction, Total Tools are your option. Total Tools located at 102 Main Street, Ocho Rios, 34 Slipe Road, Kingston. And lot C6 Jacksaw, St. Anne's Bay. Call us today.
Good evening and welcome to your sports report. I'm Oreen Buchanan. Jamaica's Reggae Boys and Curacao are currently locked at 0-0 in their crucial FIFA World Cup qualifiers in Williamstad. Ian Frey of Inter Miami has been given his debut, and Frey will be part of a backline that includes Richard King, Ethan Pinnock and Amari Bell. Bobby Reid, Dexter Lembikisa and John Russell play in front of the defensive line, and coach Steve McLaren retains the front three from the last game, including Bailey Tai Kadamatri, Tyrese Campbell and Ronaldo Cephas. This Group B top-of-the-table showdown will see the Jamaicans looking to widen their gap at the summit with a third victory from as many games, while Curacao can leapfrog the Reggae Boys if they manage to take all 3 points. Trinidad and Tobago currently leads Bermuda 2-0 at the halfway mark in their game. Member of Parliament for South West St. Elizabeth, Floyd Green, is the new chairman of Royal Navy Premier League outfit Treasure Beach. Green, who's also Agriculture, Mining and Fisheries Minister, replaces Jason Hensel, who stepped down a week before the start of the new season due to financial reasons. At the time, Hensel told Nationwide Sports that prospective sponsors and donors were not willing to commit to the project for one reason or the other.
I tried my hardest reaching out to, my contacts in the hotel sector, which is where I would have most of my relationship. Also corporate Jamaica. I have a business that has a lot of vendors and providers. But, with the hurricane passing in our area last year, and just the amount of uncertainty in the world, there's a lot of anxiety. Of course, the general election being called. Persons I found were just being much more cautious this time.
Jason Hensel, former chairman of Treasure Beach FC. Treasure Beach are currently 8th in the JPL after 7 rounds of fixtures, having won twice, drawn twice, and losing on 3 occasions. Treasure Beach will be in action on Sunday on match day 8th of the Premier League, as they'll be home to Waterhouse at St. Elizabeth Technical. Now to cricket, as Yashasvi Jaiswal continued his dream run in Test cricket with a commanding unbeaten 173 as India dominated the West Indies on the opening day of the second Test in New Delhi. The hosts, opting to bat after winning the toss, finished the day in a commanding position at 318 for 2. Jaiswal was rapidly emerged as one of India's most reliable top-order batters, was in sublime touch throughout the day. His innings was a perfect blend of patience and aggression as he punished anything loose while respecting the good deliveries. This is how the 23-year-old brought up his 7th Test century.
99 not out, left arm spinner in front of him. Just like that, 100 number 7 for Yashasvi Jaiswal, 100. Very, very well crafted, respecting the conditions, the opposition, backing himself, staying in there and saying, if I stand in long enough, you can't get me out.
Sai Sudarsan moved closer to solving India's number 3 problem with an impressive 87. KL Rahul chipped in with a fluent 38 before falling to spinner Jamel Warrican, who was the lone bright spark for the West Indies, collecting 2 for 60 thus far. Windies assistant coach Floyd Reefer admits it was a difficult day in the field for the Caribbean team.
Obviously, you come to India on good batting wickets. Today was a tough day at the office for everyone. I thought that Jaiswal, he batted well. Obviously, 160 or not out. I thought he played really well. But cricket is like that, where you come to India and you meet good wickets. So it's an opportunity for our bowlers again to really learn how to bowl line and line for long periods of time. I thought the guys hung in there pretty well today in terms of the lines and lines that they bowl. So it's another opportunity for them to come back tomorrow again and try to better what they did today.
Floyd Reefer. Meanwhile, veteran cricket commentator Joseph Reds Pereira says he was surprised by the makeup of the West Indies 11 for the game. Pereira also praised the Indian batting and the application of Jaiswal.
Well, the West Indies had another hard day in India, and
I think basically it was good batting conditions. The toss went Indian way. They have a strong batting lineup. I think from the Western East point of view, I was surprised that they kept Carey Pear and left out King. I would have gone for one spinner and strengthened the batting. The inclusion of Imraj was in fact a right choice. He kept very tidily and very efficiently, but I didn't have Carey Pear in my side for this game. The best bowler was Warrican. He got the ball to turn. Pear bowled too quickly. I certainly thought that Seals and Phillip really bowled their hearts out. They were expensive, but they didn't get a great deal of movement.
Joseph Fred Pereira. Now to athletics, as 3 Jamaicans are scheduled to be in action at the second Atlas All-Women Track Meet at the Icon Stadium in New York City this evening, starting at 6:20. Janelle Smith, who anchored Jamaica's women's 4x100 meters relay team to silver at the Tokyo World Championship last month, will line up in the women's 100 meters alongside Kayla White and Brittany Brown, who were part of the US team which won gold in Tokyo, and Mary Jose Tolu of the Ivory Coast. Megan Tapo, who suffered an injury on the eve of the 100-meter hurdles heats in Japan, is down to face Olympic champion Masai Russell of the USA in her pet event. Meanwhile, Natalia Gould-Toppin is entered for the women's 800-meter alongside newly minted world champion Keely Hodgkinson. One of the highlights of the meet will be a special presentation to Jamaican sprint star Shelly-Ann Fraser-Price by tennis great Serena Williams for her contribution to athletics. Femke Ball, 2-time world champion in the women's 400-meter hurdles, in an Instagram post earlier today, announced her dramatic switch to the 800 meters. The 25-year-old Dutch woman, who alongside America's Sydney McLaughlin-Levrone has dominated the event, with the pair running 9 of the fastest times in the event. McLaughlin-Levrone has added the flat 400 meters to her title, and in her first running of the event at the Global Championships, won gold in Tokyo last month in the second fastest time in history, clocking 47.78 seconds. She, in the process, became the first woman in 40 years to dip below 48 seconds. Ball's move to the 2-lap event will put her on a collision course with Britain's reigning world champion Keely Hodgkinson and Kenya's 2-time world champion Mary Moura. Following Ball's announcement, Hodgkinson posted the caption, "Can't wait to see the start line." Now to netball, as former assistant coach of Jamaica's Sunshine Girl, Winston Nevers, is hailing the latest exploits of the country's duo of Latanya Wilson and Janiel Fowler-Nemhard. The pair were voted as the top 2 players of the 2025 Australian Suncorp Netball League, and according to Nevers, their growth has been rapid over the years.
I coach Latanya in the under 16. 2016, we went to Barbados. She was the captain of our under 16 netball team. And then 2019, I went to England. Fowler was my captain at England. We were playing in the World Tournament and countries. So, being with those girls for a little time, I really, really feel excited about them making the move. I know.
Widely touted as the world's best shooter, Fowler-Nemhard amassed a league best 840 goals for the West Coast Fever with a 91% accuracy, and this despite missing a huge chunk of the season. Meanwhile, Wilson led the league with 41 interceptions for the Adelaide Thunderbirds. Nevers says Fowler-Nemhard's status in the global game deserves more tangible recognition in Jamaica.
Fowler come to be the number 1 shooter in the world, so you kind of expect that for a while with Fowler. Great girl, great personality as well. So I really feel good about those 2 young ladies, and I would like them to be on the map. Something should rename, especially Fowler in Jamaica. Overall, as a coach, as a friend, as a person who in netball for such a long time, I to know that somebody, 2 young ladies from Jamaica out on top. Well, every one of us should appreciate it. Every one of us should feel good about it.
Winston Nevers. The 2026 Australian Suncorp League will tip off on March 14th. Now, Oberlin High were crowned champions in the girls and boys category a short while ago in high school badminton doubles action at the YMCA. The one-day badminton tournament hosted by the Jamaica Badminton Association attracted over 100 student athletes from 15 schools across the island. In the boys' final, Oberlin got the better of Wolmer's 21-12, 21-11, 17-21 for a 2-1 victory. Over on the girls' side, Oberlin again were dominant as they registered a 21-12, 21-14, 12-21 victory en route to a 2-1 victory. Former national player Roy Paul Jr. stated that he was pleased to see the number of entries for the 2025 staging of the badminton event.
Actually, I'm really happy to see that it has grown because, I mean, when I was playing, it was about 6 schools. Now it's almost 15 or more. So that's good, you know. It's very important. I mean, at this development stage, as long as they're getting the right training, they can actually proceed to go on to further levels, you know, in terms of like representing their country at the national level, you know, traveling internationally, you know, the sky is the limit.
Paul further added that he's seen how the sport has grown in leaps and bounds in Jamaica from his playing days to this point.
Most people think badminton is just a sport that you can't really go anywhere from. It is like they play badminton as a hobby, and badminton has really evolved because back in the day when I was playing, they didn't have as much tournaments, they didn't have as much sponsors as they do now.
Roy Paul Jr. Those are the stories making your sports report. I'm Oreen Buchanan.
For all your scales and food processing equipment, call Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited at 876-968-9612-5. The time by Advanced Scales and Equipment Limited is
6:20.
That could be your brand new 2026 Beijing X55 SUV for just $2,500. It's the JSSE's first ever car raffle. Grab your tickets at Fontana, York Pharmacy, Tesco, Mothers, Bosworth, Supreme Ventures, or online at jsseja.com or caribtix.com. Entry ends November 29, grand draw December 11, 2025. Proceeds support JSSE projects. Learn more at jsse.damstockex.com. Approved by the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries Commission. Must be 18 years or older to enter. Rev up your Christmas with just $2,500.
Everybody needs a helping hand, somebody to understand. In the end, we're all human. For people living with HIV, no discrimination. Here to support them through. Respect you as usual. Got to protect them too. Whether your friend or your family, somebody in your community. People living with HIV. Protect, accept, and respect people living with HIV. A message from the Ministry of Health and Wellness. Exciting news! The Design Studio Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
Public Opinion is brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Good evening, and welcome to Public Opinion. I'm Robian Williams. A special good evening to our friends over on our YouTube platform. Thank you so much for tuning in. As always, we want to hear from you, so we ask you to weigh in live in the comments section. I feel good. I feel good, wonderful, good, because it is indeed a Friday evening. I don't know about you, but me feel good. I love Fridays, because Fridays we get to go home, you know? And we don't get to work. Well, some of us. I can only speak for some of us. All right, so let's get to it. It's Friday, and the weekend vibes are in full swing. For many Jamaicans, that means one thing. Time to hit the road and find some fun.
some sun, some sea, and relaxation. Maybe you can relax in your home as well. So today in Public Opinion, we're asking, which destination is your go-to weekend getaway? Ochi, Mobay, or Negril? Ochi, Mobay, or Negril? And I can tell you that I've only been to 2 of these places. I'm going to want to laugh off of me. I've never been to Negril. I can safely say that. So, Ochi, Mobay, or Negril? Where's your getaway? Where's your go-to getaway for the weekend? Let me see. Novia Steele is saying, each have the same problems. Bad road, garbage, and water crisis. Well, wow. Okay. Philip Jackson saying, well, to tell you the truth, Ochi leads for me, but they all have their individual unique specialties when it comes to place to go for pleasure and entertainment. As soon as I'm back, I'll be touring them all. And he says, my place, Jamaica. Jermaine Donovan is saying, Ocho Rios and its environs. For Georgina Bridson, it's Negril, she says, of course. Nicola Nicholson, for vacation, it's Montego Bay. And she's saying she can always visit Negril and Ocho Rios for the day and return to the nightlife in Montego Bay. It's not like Mobay have nightlife lock. For those of you in Montego Bay, it's not like Mobay have nightlife lock. Robert Ranger is saying, Ochi are the place to be. Negril expensive. Or bored. Mobay too chummy. I wonder what you mean by too chummy. Too chummy, like it close? Me not understand. Too chummy? Eunice Anderson is saying, Mobay, my foreign parish. Okay. Maureen Bryan is saying, Ochi for sure. Also saying Ocho Rios is Russell Reed. And Beverly Barrett is saying Mobay. Yeah? If you're just joining us, we're inside the court of public opinion. We're putting it to you. It's a weekend. What do you do? Where do you go? Is it Ochi, Mobay, Negril for that relaxation? On our X platform, Griot is saying it depends on what I'm doing. For sheer relaxation, Negril. For activities, Ochi. Mobay is just for pretending I'm in a city. Wow. The patriotic number 1 is saying Ochi and Mobay. Negril can stay. And he brings in politics into this one. Negril can stay with PNP. Okay, all right, to each his own. Ochi, Mobay, or Negril, my YouTubers. Aishan Khan right away said Mobay all the way. Jacqueline Thomas saying she thought it was because it was payday that I like the Fridays. Well, some of we only get paid one time for months still in a Jacqueline. Let me see. Go to Carlene Smith. Yes. Where's your go-to destination? Is it Ochi, Negril? Like when you're in Jamaica and you want to relax. Carl DaCosta is saying Negril. David Nabar saying that he loves Negril. He loves the white sand beach, the white sandy beach. Hi, Gertrude Hubbard. How are you? Ricky NYCJM is saying Negril all the way. He loves the beach there. And he says when he's on vacation, he loves the beach. Yeah? He loves the beach. That nice, eh? That is nice. Sharon Bless, greetings to you. I see you telling me to put on back that. I see you. Ocho Rios, Ochi, it's in my parish, says Orinthia Campbell. That's St. Anne. Linton Archer is saying Mobay, the best nightlife, best hotel beaches. And beaches? Okay. All right. Wint family saying Mobay. Oshoy Powell, Roby, did you win the vehicle today? Me say Oshoy, one piece of something like, when them pull out the name, I really thought it was going to be me. Although me never enter. But yeah. Me don't know. God could have blessed me and say, all right, Mrs. say you need something, so, okay. Thank you, PB. Thank you so much. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Wind family says Mobay. Aishan Khan says the Mobay hip strip is hot. Okay. Now be sure to check out the hip strip. Linton Archer says Mobay, the best nightlife and the best hotel and the best beaches. Gertrude is saying Negril only have lovely beach. Ian says Portland for me. Well, here is Ian throwing in something in the mix. Portland. All right. Easy Guy also throwing in something in the mix. Him said none of them. Duncan's Trelawney. Yeah. PB saying it's a long while that he hasn't been to Ochi. I want to tell you, say, I go Ochi till me fool. Me go Ochi till me fool. Whole heap of time I go Ochi. Montego Bay, I think I've gone to Montego Bay, like, mark you, and I went there only for work. So I don't know if this count. I went to Mobe for like 3 times or 4 times, and it was for work. So I don't know if I didn't enjoy the nightlife or all what everybody talking about. No, sir. Randolph Wright is saying Kingston, nightlife and restaurants. Reggaematic say Ocherius, Duns River. Yeah, man, a whole heap of time I go Duns River. A whole heap of time I climb the falls. Countless of times. Sharon Bless says you always read the wrong response. Go up further. But my bina go up, Sharon. My bina go up. P, I never afraid like that. You see, Sharon, you put too much response now. You put too much response. I don't know which one you want me to put. Yeah? Okay, all right, let me see. Portland, says Ronald Grant. All right, Kerry K. Markland is saying St. Thomas for me. Watching from Massachusetts. Okay, that word. As you know, sometimes when you're on radio and you're calling certain words, it don't come out as you want it to. Yeah, we'll leave it alone. We'll leave it right there. So, let's see. Ochi, Chinbella says Ochi is special for me, but I enjoy Negril. The water is sparkling. Sharon, I know what you're saying. All right, let's see. Baby Toy says Roby right now, all of them for me. I'm stressed, so all of them. Yeah. Jacqueline said me over Portmore. I see you there. Ricky said me for just say ma. I thought it was Jerusalem. When you see a word and you don't know the word, you say Jerusalem. Jacqueline Thomas says it's Montego Bay for her. I don't know. I'm not used to the whole nightlife thing. Even in Kingston, Robian is a girl we kind of stay home. Let me see if I can get in a few more. Yes, Jacqueline, I saw you, Montego Bay. Jacqueline, a laugh off of Sharon. Guys, it's a Friday, so wherever you go to relax, just do it safely. You know, there has been so many road fatalities, accidents happening. I mean, people leaving parties, events, and they're not making it home. So we implore you to drive safe. And if don't drink and drive. And for those of you, just drink responsibly. Don't drink and drive, and just stay safe. Okay? The business report is up next.
Public Opinion was brought to you by Cleasing Industrial Supplies Limited, Industrial Automation and Control Solutions.
Drive the most exciting new vehicles in Jamaica. Schedule your 2024 Ford Ranger pickup or Ford Everest 7-seater SUV test drive now. Call or visit KIG today.
The time by KIG is
6:32. Hello, good evening, and welcome to Nationwide's Business Report. I'm Robian Williams. Google may have to make changes in the UK so people have more choice over which search engine they use following a landmark decision from the regulator. Now, the Competition and Markets Authority has designated Google with strategic market status under a law which came into force in January. The decision doesn't mean the regulator has found wrongdoing at this stage. Instead, it opens the door to what it called proportionate targeted interventions to ensure the market is competitive. Google has warned against any measures which it says might inhibit UK innovation and growth. U.S. President Donald Trump has said he would impose an additional 100% tariff on imports from China from next month. In a post on social media, Trump said the U.S. would also put export controls on critical software. In an earlier post on Friday, he hit back at Beijing's move this week to tighten its rules for exports of rare earths, accusing China of becoming very hostile and trying to hold the world captive. He threatened to pull out of a meeting with China's president. He later said he had not cancelled it, but that he did not know that they're going to have it. And finally, in the currency markets at the close of trading today, it cost 161 Jamaican dollars and 53 cents to buy $1 US, 216 Jamaican dollars and 53 cents to buy $1 British pound, and 116 Jamaican dollars and 10 cents to buy the Canadian dollar. That's the business report. I'm Robeanne Williams. Good evening.
Already have a T-Tag for your vehicle? Just top it up and go through. Now you can see funds in your T-Tag account almost immediately after topping up. So if you're already on your journey, you can safely pull off the road and top up using the My T-Tag app or WhatsApp, or ask your passenger to do it for you. And within 5 to 10 minutes, you can enjoy the lower toll rates and other benefits of the T-Tag link. Even if you forget to top up before you started your trip, top up your T-Tag and continue to go through quicker and cheaper on Transjam highways.
Home is closer than you think when you save towards your dream home with the Homeowners Savings Plan, or HOSP, from CIBC Caribbean. With HOSP, you unlock preferential interest rates to earn more interest on your savings and pay less with a discounted mortgage rate. You can even borrow up to an additional US $5,000 or its equivalent to help you with your closing costs. Get home faster when you save the HOSP way with CIBC.
Come into the parlor, there's a welcome there for you.
Welcome to the Mayor's Parlor with Desmond McKenzie.
From 1 to 6 p.m. every Sunday, you'll now get more of your favorite vintage music.
Put your head on my shoulder.
Nationwide 90 FM will transform your Sunday into a musical time machine that will take you way back.
Come with me. Let's go back in time.
This magic moment.
Journey into yesteryear with Desmond McKenzie in the Mayor's Parlor.
I've got the music to jog your memory and make you smile.
Put your sweet lips a little closer to the phone.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the best in vintage music.
Come into the Mayor's Parlor every Sunday between 1 and 6 p.m. here on Nationwide 90 FM, a revolution in media.
Those oldies but goodies reminds me of you.
Exciting news! The Design Studio Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all the schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. it's the A-Team. Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Everything loud and wicked every Saturday 3 to 5 p.m. with Outside with Pepita. Loan vibes, loan laughs, and loan entertainment. Come on the road with we. Cause when we say Outside with Pepita, we're there all over Jamaica. Anyway, check them out. We're there. We're in on the business. Stay tuned in for prizes, surprises, giveaways, guest artists, and enough more. But hold on there. Don't forget to me got my DJ. DJ Jerome the Shell Boss, I'm gonna make it bust to pew pew with the maddest, baddest, and latest tunes. So look out for Outside with Pepita. We might be coming to a town near you. You heard it here first. Outside with Pepita, Saturdays 3 to 5 p.m. for Nationwide 90 FM. The new revolution in media. Jamaica, lock it in and don't miss a thing.
If it's in the public's interest, it's the nation's business during Nationwide at 5. The nation's business.
It's the weekend and the youth are taking over the airwaves. Yes, we are the new voices and faces of the Talk Up You radio show. The voice of the Jamaican youth right here on Nationwide 90 FM.
After a busy week of work and school, come on wine with Jamaica's #1 youth radio show.
We're bringing you entertainment, fun facts, and staying true to youth development and advocacy.
Catch the action each and every Saturday as we roll out buzzy segments. What say you?
Youth for chat.
Life skills.
Global Connect.
And Bust the Youth.
That's the Talk Up Youth radio show. Saturdays 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM.
Talk Up Youth, Miss Effie.
Talk Up Youth. Don't miss it.
Oh God, once again! Sunday is a day for reflection and praise. So start it with Lutheran Ministries in Jamaica.
God, we know you're gonna bless us.
Listen to Nationwide 90 FM every Sunday morning at 8:30 a.m. for the Lutheran Hour. Brought to you by the Lutheran Ministries Jamaica, located at 33 Courtney Walsh Drive in Kingston. That's the Lutheran Hour, Sundays at 8:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Visit or contact the Jamaican Lutheran Hour at 33 Courtney Walsh Drive, Kingston 10. WhatsApp or call 876-348-9085. Find us on Facebook at Jamaican Lutheran Hour or email lutheranh@gmail.com.
It is God who always is pursuing us. Not we trying to pursue God and can't find him. And if you are frantically trying to get God to do this or that for you, my advice for you is chill out and realize that God is saying to every one of us, be still and know that I am God.
Learn more on Leading the Way with Dr. Michael Youssef.
Leading the Way airs on Sundays 11 to 11:30 a.m. on Nationwide 90 FM, the new revolution in media.
Hi there. Here's some good news for these trying times. Quote, by God's word, I can see where I'm going. They throw a beam of light on my dark path. Unquote. Psalm 119, verse 105. Listen for God's Word weekdays at 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. through
Oasis. Stop by for a refreshing drink and share a God perspective for the day.
Oasis. Weekdays 5:45 a.m. and 12:55 p.m. right here on Nationwide, a revolution in media.
The rebroadcast of the Oasis can be heard weekdays at 5:45 a.m.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Thank you so very much for sticking and staying with us. You're still live inside the Nationwide at 5. I'm Tyrone Reed. Well, we're inside the nation's business, and today is World Homeless Day. World Homeless Day is observed annually on October 10. A survey to determine the number of homeless people in the country was conducted from October 6 to 10. That's according to Cyprian Lewis, Regional Manager with responsibility for homelessness at the Ministry of Local Government and Community Development. And I hope I got Lewis's name correct. According to Lewis, the last survey done in 2017 found that the homeless population was about 2,000.
Our last survey identified that was 1,935 persons experiencing homelessness, of which 85% of that population happens to be male. 15% of that population is female. So that is one of the issues we find across the island, that most persons who are experiencing homelessness are males, and it has been identified that maybe because a number of males are not so entrenched in caring for family, that is one of the results.
The voice of Cyprian Lewis. Now he's the regional manager with responsibility for homelessness in the Ministry of Local Government. Now, according to Lewis, a new survey should have been done before, but was delayed due to the COVID-19 pandemic. It was done in partnership with the Board of Supervision in collaboration with its partners, the Social Development Commission, STC, and the Ministry of Health and Wellness. The survey covered persons residing in spaces not fit for human habitation. These places include cars, parks, on the streets, or in abandoned buildings. The survey is also seeking to ascertain the percentage of the homeless population that is mentally challenged. Lewis says the survey will help to inform the government about where to establish rehabilitation centers. This evening, we're speaking with a few municipalities about homelessness in their neck of the woods and how we can seek to ameliorate or eradicate it. We're being joined by Chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, Richard Vernon, Chairman of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation, Michael Belnavis, and of course, Chairman of the Homeless Committee of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, David Knight, who is a councillor for the Walderston Division. Top of the afternoon to you, gentlemen. Welcome to Nationwide at 5.
Great. Thank you for having us.
Let me begin. Let me begin with you, Chairman for the St. James Municipal Corporation, Richard Vernon, Mayor Vernon. 2,000 was the number in the last survey. Is it plausible that we can eradicate homelessness, given that the number doesn't seem to be that exorbitant? Can we eradicate homelessness? And what is the state of homelessness in your parish, your city? What's the state of homelessness there? Mayor Vernon? We're not hearing Mayor Vernon.
You hear me?
All right. Mayor Vernon, yes, we're hearing you now, sir.
Yes.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you now. Yes, I was asking you the state of homelessness in your municipality. And also, do you think we can eradicate homelessness, given that the homeless population, given the numbers published in the last survey, doesn't seem that significant, around 2,000?
Well, let me say good evening to you, my fellow colleagues on the channel here, and listeners across Jamaica. I would give you a short answer as we get going, and the answer is not 100%, because homelessness has several faces. It's not just the persons who we see on the roadway. There are different types of homelessness, and the Board of Supervision has highlighted several of them. We have chronic homelessness, temporary homelessness, hidden homelessness, emergency homelessness, and institutional homelessness. So it depends on what type of homelessness you're experiencing at the time, then you will be treated accordingly. But to say eradicate it to 100%, then it will be hard, because on a daily basis you have persons experiencing the various types of homelessness. And the point in time survey that we have completed this week captures persons in different areas that I have mentioned, but by tomorrow you might have a new case. So that is where I want to start on the answer.
The number moves because people fall in hard times,
right?
At any moment.
Right.
Mayor Bell Davis, I'd love to bring you in. What's the state of homelessness in your municipality, and what are your thoughts on whether or not we can eradicate homelessness?
Well, ironically enough, we spoke about that just on Thursday at the Municipal Corporation at our monthly meeting, where we realized that homelessness is at a chronic state in St. Anne. It's not just in Ochre, St. Anne, and our Ochre, Brownstown. We have a situation where every day pretty much is a new person. It could be male or female in and around the state. So, and notwithstanding the fact that we have the drop-in center, which we have just enhanced to be overnight, to have an overnight situation where you can actually sleep over. People are there, but what we have found is that they're not necessarily looking to go into the drop-in center, because our drop-in center, they go there for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. But guess what? They like to be roaming the streets. So what I'm finding is that they're not necessarily homeless. They have a mental state. And that is where we're at now. It's a mental state of affairs. So they're there, they need to be medicated. And we've asked and mandated the health department to go out there, medicate these individuals, bring them to the drop-in centers. The drop-in center in the case of Ochre. And let's see how is it we can take care of them. We can take care of them through religious medication, meals, 3 meals a day, clothes, showers, things of that nature. Because we have the facility in place, the first world infrastructure that we put in place along with one of Mackenzie, the Minister of Local Government, has put in this drop-in center. And this drop-in center takes care of the homeless. What we have found is that I'm also the chairman of the hospital, and we found that 40% of those people who are coming into the hospital, whether they're homeless or not, have a mental state. So mental issues are becoming a major issue in our society today, and that needs to be addressed as a matter of priority. I think it's medical proportions, and it needs to be addressed, because it's not just homelessness; it's mental state of how people react, mental and so on. So that to me indicates where the society is moving. I don't know if it's the society has gotten too modern and all the normal issues associated with just living that is creating all these mental situations. But people have a big issue with their mental state right now, and it's manifesting itself in the hospitals. It's manifesting itself in people on the roads, manifesting itself in the drop-in centers and so on. So we now need to see how is it that we can take care of these folks out there on the road and get them into the institutions that are built for these individuals and take care of them. That's where it's at right now.
Let's bring into the conversation the chairman of the Homeless Committee at the Manchester Municipal Corporation, David Knight. He's also councillor for the Walderston Division. Same question to you, Councillor Knight. What is the state of homelessness in your neck of the woods over there in Manchester, the parish of Manchester, and what are your thoughts on possibly eradicating homelessness?
Thank you. In Manchester, we see a growing population in homelessness, because what we found out is that we are just one bad decision away from being homeless. And so every week when we go on the street, we have noticed that there are new persons on the street. One of the things that we don't have here in Manchester is a drop-in center where these people can come and get a hot meal and they can sleep and they can have a bath. We don't have that. because we are still looking where we can build a drop-in center for the parish. And so all the things that we are doing, we have to be doing it on the street. We also have Candle in the Dark that helps us. It's a private entity, but we find that we have persons who would have gone to Candle and get some medication, get some bath, and get some food, but they are still on the street. Eradicating this, I don't think we can really do that. We can minimize it, because if we are seeing new persons on a weekly basis, then it means that persons are having serious problems when it comes down to homeless. And I think also mentally, both of them goes together. And you'll find that even when you have a facility where they can go, people will still stay on the street, because I don't know, there's something about the street, because they're just not leaving at all. And so I think we can try. We can try, but to eradicate homelessness, I think that is a uphill task for us.
So what you may believe is trying to come in. You're saying there are some folks who prefer to be on the street.
They absolutely love the street.
They love the street.
That therapy is some sort of therapy, the interaction that they have with people, even though it's very minimal. The fact that people are around, maybe it's a sense of safety, maybe it's a sense of, comrade. I don't know. I get the impression that they love the street. They rather sleep on the cold asphalt than go into a nice, comfortable bed at the drop-in center. Because our drop-in center has just been enhanced by the Minister, Mackenzie, to accommodate individuals at night. So it's not just a drop-in center where you just, in the day you come for 3 meals a day, medication, a cold shower, and things like that. You can now sleep and in a secure environment. If you want to sleep inside on the bed, or if you want to sleep outside on the cot, it's designed in that way. And and these individuals would rather sleep on the cold asphalt than come to the drop-in center. So we have asked the health department to do some, medicate these things and bring them to the drop-in center, because we cannot allow them to come to the drop-in center, because they won't come. And the drop-in center is right in the town. It's right there in Bucksfield.
Did I hear Mayor Vernon trying to come in there? You're experiencing the same thing in your area, Mayor Vernon, where people are preferring to stay on the streets?
It's a common thing where you see persons on the street, they intend to stay there as opposed to going to the shelter. But there's a big but. And that big but is the matching programs to the diagnosis of homelessness. And when you look at the situation, you will find that there are persons who are mentally challenged, or substance abusers, and that group of homeless persons tend to be on the street more because there aren't adequate programs to deal with that type of homelessness, enough of the programs available to deal with that type of homelessness. So they are programmed a particular way to be on the street, that persons who are homeless because of family disputes, for example, you don't find them wanting to stay on the streets. They want to get shelter. That is how they are programmed mentally, that contributes to their behavior in dealing with them, keeping them in the shelter, for example. And when we did our survey,
in the previous surveys that were done, did we ever try to ascertain, because I know we're trying to do it now, in the survey that was conducted between October 6 and October 10, which is today, did we ever try to ascertain previously the percentage of the homeless population that may be battling mental challenges? Did we previously have a figure for that?
We do. The information that we have at the St. James Municipal Corporation, for example, the list, I can't speak nationally. I will speak to the municipality of St. James.
And the list that we have, we went ahead through our poor relief department to do an assessment of it and collect that information so we could treat with each category accordingly. Now, when we look at what we have collected in over the past few days, and I don't have all the complete number as yet, but we have up to 130 individuals were identified. And it's a notable shift from the 235 persons we captured in the 2017 survey. And we anticipate that this number that we will total at the end of the collation of the data will reflect a reduction. And we surmise that it may be linked to improvement in the local economy or successful transitions through government programs or more targeted support for more shelters and partners. And we do have a few. And we do have cases, success stories. Last year we transitioned 5 persons. This year we transitioned 3. They were on spot this morning at the shelter when we were doing the homeless day up here. And they even got an interview with one of the media houses. So, and share their story. But we do have a breakdown of the persons with lived experience of homelessness, why they're homeless, and the type of program that they need to be in. Some persons are homeless because they are unemployed, and they are unemployed because they don't have the capacities, the requisite qualification, for example, to get a job, and they find themselves in financial situations that cause them to be homeless. And that is termed the temporary homeless person. The ones that my colleagues are referring to are the chronic cases where those persons are linked to mental health or addiction. So you put them in that drop-in center, they are going to go there to find the substance that they need, the opium that they need to keep going, right? And then you have the hidden ones. They're homeless persons who sleep on couches. From one night they sleep here, the next night they sleep another place. They call them sofa surfers. And then you have the emergency situation, persons who were evicted, can't pay them rent, right? Domestic violence or displaced by hurricane or any type of other disaster. And then
sofa surfers, Mayor Vernon. Sofa surfers is what you said.
Yeah, it's sofa surfers.
I've never heard that one before.
So, right, on the couch.
You've introduced me to a phrase, Mayor Vernon. But now, I know it might be early.
Move on in a terror.
Go ahead.
More. The ones in the institution, like the institutional homeless, the Cornwall Regional Hospital, in this case, has several cases. And we've been trying to make space at our infirmary to free up the bed spaces at Cornwall Regional Hospital. So that
did you count those individuals who've been so abandoned, those social cases in the homeless population data that you submitted?
Those were counted. And families deliberately bring their other members of their family to Cornwall Regional Hospital and leave them there. And when they're discharged, sometimes they don't even know where to go. They take them from far other parishes. They take them from center.
I know we're crunching the numbers, but
right.
Mayor Vernon, you said based on your latest collection of data, how many homeless people you've counted in
St. James? Up to Tuesday, we were at 130. Based on the information that we collected on Wednesday, we can see it reaching 235, and 235 is the number that we captured in 2017.
So it's standing at 130 now, and it's coming down from 235 in 2017.
Right. And when we add the information for Wednesday, it will go up, but we don't see it reaching 235 based on the information that we have.
It still might come in on the 2017 number.
Right.
Let me get Mayor Bill Navis on that. Now, Mayor Bill Navis, based on the numbers that you've collated so far for this survey, what is the total number of homeless people in your parish out there in St. Anne?
Well, homelessness is categorized in terms of people who come by for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because you do have a lot of folks who live somewhere and they come by to the drop-in center for meals. So that they are considered homeless. So the numbers are somewhat skewed. You have over 200 individuals. But what I will say is that, coming from the hospital, we have 6 to 9 individuals who are permanent residents at the hospital who should be going home, but the family will not take them. So they are there.
6 to 9.
Yeah, man, 6 to 9 individuals. I did the math on it, and an individual who is there permanently displaces 40-something individuals over the week, because based on the term that somebody has to stay, would normally stay in the hospital, which is like about 2 or 3 days, that individual displaces those individuals who cannot find a bed. So that one individual who is there permanently displaces 40 individuals from finding a bed.
So in total, 6 to 9 at the hospitals.
Yes, 6 to 9
in total in the parish, what's the total number for the parish?
No, those individuals are there at the hospital who reside there essentially because they're family. And the point I'm trying to make is that we have to have the families take charge of their families. It's individuals who have a mental state and so on. And sometimes they come in for all types of reasons. And invariably it's a mental state. And the families are so glad to get rid of them, quote unquote, that they're glad to have the hospital or somebody take charge of that situation, that they just leave them. So you have that situation. So there are at the hospitals displacing individuals who need the bed for normal sickness.
No, man, I get that. I was asking you to now give me the additional numbers across the parish. So 69.
Yeah, we're in the 200 range also. We're in the 200
you're in
range.
the 200.
These are
is that a decline from 2017, or has it remained? Has it held firm, or is there an increase?
We have found it to be pretty much straight line. It's not necessarily economic. What we found is it's a mental state of affairs is what we're finding in St. Anne.
When is the straight line? When is the straight line, Mayor? Trying to get a straight response. When is the straight line? Are you saying the numbers you're looking at now, is it an increase over the number for 2017?
Ever since we established the drop-in center several years ago, it has been pretty much straight line, and these individuals come and go. They are very itinerant, if you want to use that term, and they come, get their medication, get their food, shower, get a change of clothes, and they're on the road again. And
so what was the homeless number in 2017, Mayor Bill Navis?
Well, we were just under 200. Now we're just over 200. So it's pretty much straight line.
So under 200, and you're over 200. So there's a slight increase.
Yes, and you'll find that those are itinerant. We don't. If you look at those who are there, like tonight, if you go to the
what do you attribute that to? That slight increase. What do you attribute that to?
I would say the comfort that the government is provided for these individuals, because the drop-in center is a new phenomenon. But 5 years ago, that did not exist in St. Anne. The hospital will not turn anyone out into the streets if they don't have families. The people are, although people will abuse individuals on the road, they're somewhat receptive to the individuals. People,
that's quite significant. Mayor Bill Navis, that's quite significant. If you have just over 200 homeless in your parish that you've accounted for, and 69 of those are people in the hospitals, that's quite significant.
We said that there were 6 permanently at the hospital.
6, not 69. 6.
No, 6. SIX. Yes, 6. And they've been consistently 6 throughout. Yes. 69
I thought I heard 69.
To have regular individuals.
All right. David Knight, how about you? What's the total number in terms of the homeless population this year, and what was it in 2017? Is there an increase or a decrease?
Well, we have not gotten the figures from the survey that was done since week, but looking at last 2017, we had over 100, close to 200 homeless persons. But I must quickly say that when we do the survey, we found out that most of the people that are in the town center who are homeless, they are not even from the parish, right? They are from all over. And when I ask them where they are from, some are from Kingston, Montego Bay, just about everywhere. And so we have to try to provide for them. One of the things that we have going, we have the rehabilitation center, Ebenezer Home, and they are a set of people who help to deal with some of these people. And as I mentioned, the Candle in the Dark, and down at Candle, we found out also that it is not only homeless that is coming there for assistance. We have a lot of hungry people, because I feed the homeless on a weekend in the town center. And if I don't stand up strong, the homeless will not get anything to eat, because there are so many persons coming and begging for food because they are hungry. And so they will leave from their different place of abode and come to the town center. And the homeless sometimes is being looked over instead of dealing with them. So we have to be very, very strong to ensure that the homeless get what we have for them. When we look at the hospitals, we don't have much of those patients in the hospitals, because what we do is we collaborate with the poor relief department, and also we go down to Ebenezer Home, and if they can take somebody, then we will do just that. We also have testimonies of persons who have been rehabilitated, and they have been back with their family. And so we found out as a committee that the way forward is that we want to find where these persons are living, and we go and have a conversation with the family and to see what we can do to ask these people to come back home.
Councillor Knight, I'm actually happy that you've touched on, because my final question I want to put to all of you is, how expansive or encompassing is this survey that you've conducted? What's the likelihood that you've missed a significant number of homeless individuals in your parish? Beginning with you, Councillor Knight, how detailed was this survey? Because it says from October 6th through 10. Is that sufficient time to be able to canvass the entire municipality to determine how many people are homeless in the parish? What's the likelihood that the numbers we're looking at are way lower than they really are?
Yeah, I believe that they are really lower than because the time in which we carried out the survey is early morning, where we can find people sleeping in different areas. If we do that in the middle of the day, we'll find a lot of people, and they will tell you that they are homeless. But when we do it in the early morning, then that is where we capture the real homeless persons. And so I believe at the end of the survey, then we will have numbers going down instead of going up because of the time
but you've used 4 mornings to canvass the entire municipality. Is that sufficient?
Well, I don't think we can catch everybody, but I mean, we have catch majority because we have break ourselves into groups, and so we have gone into different town areas to catch them. And because of the feeding program that we have, we would be able to tell these persons who are doing the survey where to find these persons, so they know exactly where to go instead of going searching for them.
So you haven't gone into every nook and cranny. You've basically focused on the major town squares?
No, we have tried. We have gone into Christiana. We have gone into Mile Gully. We have gone into Cross Keys. We have gone down to Poro. Most of the town centers in the communities where we know they stay. Because these people, when they're homeless,
all right, so
people don't really.
No, I hear. I want to hear from the other gentleman on it because I think this is important. So you've not gone community by community. You focused on the major areas. That's basically the approach.
Yeah, that was our approach. So we have loads of community that we have gone into. Loads of community.
Okay, let me hear from you, Mayor Bill Davis. What's the likelihood that your attempt at capturing the total number of homeless people in your municipality is really underreporting the true figure? Did you go community by community in those 4 days?
Well, the health department did that and the poor relief department, but I will tell you that the number that
this is Mayor Bill Davis?
Yes.
All right. Yes, go ahead.
And they will report to us at the monthly meetings those numbers and give us a feel for what is happening. But I also operate business in Ocheref, St. Anne's Bay, and Brownstown, and I will tell you that these individuals, the town centers create a magnet for them because there are a lot of people converged into the space, and they can beg money, food, and whatever the case. And then there are a lot of churches that will and agencies and groups, Kiwanis and others that will have 12 o'clock lunch for these individuals in and up and above the drop-in center. So there is no shortage of food. The problem that we run into is the medication to ensure that they don't go out and attack people. For them, a physical place for them to sleep, and some of them rather put a piece of cardboard down on the cold concrete and sleep there. You come into the townships at 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock in the morning, and you can see them all asleep. Is as they operate at night, move around at night, and they sleep in the days. That is how they operate. So you can see them. So it's easy to count and get an accurate estimation as to who these people are, what they're about, how many of them.
But certainly, though, some of them are in communities and not in the major town centers.
Very few, because people will not tolerate a homeless person in their community. They'll physically run them out. Unless they're inside somebody's house where it's a family situation. I know that. Yes, the nephew, not 100%, so they tolerate them because they're connected to us.
Let me hear Mayor Vernon before we because we're out of time. We've gone over time. Mayor Vernon, how confident can we be that you're capturing at least the lion's share of people who are homeless in your municipality? Did your team go from community to community, or you focused on the town centers?
Majority of the focus was within the town center. They capture information from the communities nonetheless. This type of survey is not to capture a sample. It is to capture a true reflection of what the homeless population is like, because it's not for educational purposes only. It is also to bring services to these persons who are in need. And based on the different categories of homelessness that we have, that is put out by the Board of Supervision, I don't believe that the point-in-time survey is enough to give us that true reflection of what exists on the ground. Therefore, I might, if I may, make some recommendations that could help us in the future, such as ensure that we have more frequent surveys and the collection of information is ongoing. Once you identify a case, a social worker out there in the field, once you get it through the Social Development Commission, through the Ministry of Health, wherever you get it from, there's a central unit that collects that and continues to collect the data so that we know exactly what is happening on the ground on a day-to-day basis. And we need more timely data to respond effectively. So when we have that information about the homeless cases, then we can put those persons into programs that we have available immediately. We also need to strengthen the capacity of the municipal corporation, not just to collect the data, but to guide homeless citizens through that process towards dignity, housing, employment. We have cases, as I said, we had 5 years before, we have 3 this year, and this is doable. So we need to now double down on that effort to ensure that we can move more of our persons from homelessness to a life of dignity. And we need to expand transitional programs. We have a transitional center in Kingston. The minister announced that he's looking at one for Montego Bay. We have a small one that we are trying to work on here in Montego Bay, but the two shelters that we have that provide services for homeless is a care center and a drop-in shelter, and they get care every day. Now, the transitional, once we expand the transitional programs, especially those that combine the shelter, training, and mental health support, we can have more success stories. But as it is, those are the things that we need to do to serve the persons with lived experience of homelessness in a better way.
I appreciate it, gentlemen. Thank you so very much. Richard Vernon there, chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation. He's the mayor of Montego Bay. And of course, we have chairman of the St. Ann Municipal Corporation, Michael Belnavis. Thank you, Mayor Belnavis. Appreciate it. And chairman of the Homeless Committee out there in Manchester Municipal Corporation, the Manchester Municipal Corporation, pardon me, David Knight. Thank you very much, Constable Knight. Appreciate the time and the thoughts, gentlemen. Have a good week.
Thank you. All the best.
Thank you very much.
Indeed. This is Nationwide at 5. We bring to a close the nation's business. But before I go, just to give you an update, if you are counted among the footballing faithful, Jamaica is trailing a 1-0 Curacao in the latest round of CONCACAF World Cup qualifiers. Jamaica is trailing a 1-0. The Reggae Boys are applying some pressure, but let's see if it will yield any results. All right, we take a break right here and come back with more.
Every time you are link with a condom, coulda Ozzy, coulda wife, coulda be a random. Do it for your best life.
The time by the Ministry of Health and Wellness is...
It's 20 minutes after 7.
Exciting news! The Design Studio on Nationwide 90 FM just got a whole lot bigger. Join us this and every Saturday now from 1 to 3 p.m. for an exclusive show that elevates your home, mind, and soul. Discover the latest interior design trends to create your dream sanctuary. Unlock your true potential with personal growth strategies. Nourish your body and spirit with expert wellness tips. Don't miss out on the inspiration you need to live your best life. Tune in to the Design Studio this and every Saturday from 1 to 3 p.m. and take the first step towards a more fulfilling you.
Make me sweat, make me harder.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Nationwide at 5. We're going to take you now to Venezuela. The opposition leader there, Maria Corina Machado, has won the Nobel Peace Prize. She becomes the 20th woman to win the award. The Norwegian Nobel Committee described her as a woman who keeps the flame of democracy burning amid a growing darkness. The former presidential candidate was lauded for being a key unifying figure in the once deeply divided opposition to President Nicolas Maduro's government.
Machado has been living in hiding over the past year. Her ally, Edmundo Gonzalez, who lives in exile in Spain, celebrated Machado's Nobel win in a post on X. He called it a very well-deserved recognition for the long fight of a woman and of a whole people for Freedom and Democracy. The duo were awarded the European Union's top human rights honor, the Sakharov Prize in 2024. More of this report from ABC News.
And this year's Nobel Peace Prize goes to Venezuelan opposition leader Maria Corina Machado. The Nobel Committee made the announcement this morning, calling Machado a brave and committed champion of peace for her work promoting democratic rights for the people of Venezuela. Machado founded a group that works to promote free and fair elections. She was then elected to Venezuela's National Assembly with a record number of votes, but the Maduro regime expelled her from office and then barred her from running for president. Now she says she's honored, humble, and very grateful on behalf of the Venezuelan people.
I have no words. I thank you so much, but I hope you understand this is a movement. This is a achievement of a whole society. I am just one person. I certainly do not deserve this.
Foreign correspondent Tom Soufi-Burridge is here for more on that. Hi, Tom. So the Nobel Committee says democracy is in retreat internationally. How significant is this recognition, choosing this person for the Nobel Peace Prize? And how do you think it could affect the fight for democracy in Venezuela and beyond?
Yeah, I think it's a really interesting choice, Diane. Look, Maria Corina Machado, it will be a massive boost for her international profile. It shines a big light on her cause, and she continues to campaign for democracy in Venezuela and a peaceful transition of power away from the Maduro regime. I mean, arguably, the Maduro regime might now see her as more of a threat, although she's already in hiding and has been for months. But, it will shine a light on Venezuela. It will isolate internationally the Maduro regime further. But I don't think we should overplay the significance. At the moment, that regime has an iron grip on power.
I spoke to Machado last year, and she told me the most important thing is that her movement has the support of the people. I want to play some of that conversation for you.
We need to put all the pressure on Nicolas Maduro so that he understands that the cost of staying in power will be higher. It's getting higher every day until the cost of leaving power is less than that. And that's what we need to do right now. We need to put all pressure from within, and that's what we are doing, even we're persecuted and being under repression. I've been accused of terrorism. The regime is looking for me, and that's happening with most of our members of our teams. But we are working, we are willing to fight, as well as our Venezuela diaspora around the world. So this is a moment to move ahead, to put pressure on Maduro and to make him understand that all those that have committed crimes against humanity will be held accountable.
Tom, that was September 2024. Where does that fight stand now?
Well, look, Maduro was re-elected last year in elections which most of the world believe were a sham. And look, most of the opposition, Diane, in Venezuela are in hiding like Corina Machado. So, there isn't a sort of sign that the regime is about to crack. And at the moment, there is no sign that the security forces in Venezuela are about to move away from the Maduro regime. And that's a key point. But look, the economy in the country is in trouble. And, successive US administrations have supported the Venezuelan opposition. But the Trump administration is going further, launching those strikes on boats which the administration claims are being used by narco gangs. But, it's unclear what impact this increased attention by the US administration of Donald Trump will have on the opposition and ultimately on the Maduro regime.
Machado is a staunch supporter of President Trump and his campaign for military pressure against the Maduro regime. Any response from the president to this pick, given he also wanted this prize?
Not yet from the president. From a top official, his communications director, basically criticizing the award to Corina Machado instead of Donald Trump, saying that the Nobel Peace Committee have chosen politics over peace. I mean, that effectively is the White House reinforcing their argument that Donald Trump has ended 7 wars, which is a claim which is debatable, of course. But look, I think it's an interesting choice because in some sense, Donald Trump and Corina Machado are on the same side because Donald Trump opposes Maduro and backs the Venezuelan opposition. So it'll be interesting to see what he has to say.
All right, foreign correspondent Tom Sufi-Burge, thank you.
That report there from ABC News. And, I found it interesting that Ms. Machado dedicated her Nobel Peace Prize to Donald Trump. And we know how he loves flattery. And I said to myself, she knows what she's doing. Because in flattering him, she keeps him on side and I think amplifies and speeds up the process of him making some intervention to remove Nicolas Maduro from power.
I mean, I don't. How do you start a war of words over the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, no. Well, if I'm to be fair to him, he has certainly done. Certainly in the last week or so, more to warrant consideration than Barack Obama did when he won it. To be very fair to him, if we are to be fair to him.
There are a lot of people who say Barack Obama didn't do enough to...
He didn't deserve it. At the time when that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
But that's not the point I'm making.
But that's what upsets Trump, That is what upsets him. That he gave it to Barack Obama, who he says didn't do anything.
Oh, dear.
And he has been working hard, true, on the Israel-Gaza matter. And he seems to be making some headway. So, yeah, you have to give. Yeah, him upset.
Curacao to Jamaica 0. But to the point at hand, it just doesn't give dignified, which I don't think is something you can really accuse Trump of. that you have your one of your officials basically lambasting the selection committee for choosing to give it to someone else.
Yeah.
How do you engage in that kind of a thing? And then Donald Trump, even though he's doing what he's doing, trying to secure peace in areas around the world, and they were really trying to push that to shore him up for it. But his administration, they're bombing boats in the Caribbean Sea.
And again,
how is that for peace? How is that for peace?
And again, in
a region of peace, Ricardo.
That is
a region known for peace.
That is why we should pay attention to Machado's dedication of the award to him. She knows what she's doing. Those strikes on those boats, he intends to use them to punish Maduro. He's cut off diplomatic contact now, all diplomatic contact with Caracas, and the international media is reporting that he has assembled his generals and they're looking at plans. What those plans are, we don't know. I think she wants to see an intervention from the United States to remove Nicolas Maduro from government. And I can't say we can rule it out that Donald Trump wouldn't do that. So she's playing to his ego. She's saying, yeah, you've been doing well for Venezuela, keep it up. And he might take that bait.
Look, I'm not a supporter of that kind of I say stop the criminals, stop them, cut off their supply, but bombing boats in the Caribbean Sea, that doesn't sit well with me at all. Absolutely not.
We'll have to watch that one, yeah? We're going to take your calls, 630-9371 to 4-618-8255.
New NHT loans now in effect, up to 9 million for individuals and as high as 23 million for co-applicants, making home ownership more accessible for Jamaicans. We are building Jamaica.
The time by the Office of the Prime Minister is
7:32.
Not a mercy. This one is very classic, dedicated to all schoolers who are taking it.
If you've ever struggled to pass an exam, then you'll know that students today are under great pressure to get good grades and secure qualification needed to move on to higher education. The problem is that too many students are struggling alone and could really benefit from connecting with hardworking teachers and other bright students in other parts of the country and the region. Join me, Dennis Brooks, this and every Friday evening from 8 to 9, with a repeat on Saturday morning from 8 to 9. For the A-Team, a study group on radio, my team of teachers, students, and experts will break down the syllabus, giving you information, tips, and past paper questions that will help you get top grades in your upcoming exams. Follow us on Facebook Live and on Twitter and be a part of the community. It's the A-Team, Fridays at 8 p.m. with a repeat at 8 o'clock on Saturday morning. It's your free extra class on radio and social media. And it's right here on Nationwide 90 FM, the revolution in media.
Omalo, you're up first. Good evening.
Ricardo. Good evening, Tyrone.
Good evening, my friend.
Yeah, before I talk to you about what I really call it to talk to you, let me ask you a question. Could you name me one country that has used the Western democracy that was colonized to become a first world country after maybe 60 years of independence?
Could we name one country that used the Western model of democracy that had previously been colonized that's now considered a first world country?
Yeah.
In 60 years, you say?
In an average of 60 years, because most countries got their independence in an average of 60 years from colonization.
Hold on. Well, let me just double check before I say this one that I'm thinking.
A first world country. Do you know one, Omalo?
I know of none, because the only one that I would think of that they say in the Western world that is not a democracy is Singapore.
I thought about that, but no, you said Western model of democracy. No, Singapore would not quite.
There is none. So when these people come around, when these people come around celebrating their democracy, it's a laughing stock.
You know, It's funny that you bring this up, Omalo. Very interesting, because I'm working on a paper for school. And this is what the paper asks us to assess, whether the Western development and democratic model has worked in the global South. So the paper is actually due at midnight. So it's funny that you asked that question.
When you have different cultures,
yes,
and different religious belief in the society and stuff like that, you cannot model a manual democracy to deal with them all. It has to be tweaked and tailored in form as to match the culture and people it is dealing with. And the Western world know this because it has worked in their situation in the Western world, but they don't educate the developing nations to apply this. They sell one model of democracy, and the model of democracy causes confusion and a lot of competition between people seeking power, not really in the interest of development.
Which model of the democracy are you referring to? Which?
The Western world democracy. The constitutional democracy.
If you didn't put the 60 years on it, one could say the US, they were colonized by the UK.
But you see, we're not talking about.
But you put and they are now the world's largest economy.
No,
so if you want to hold them up as a model for democracy, some would say it's working pretty well. But you put a limit on it.
Was the US colonized?
That's the 60-year mark, right?
No, was the US colonized?
Yeah, man. The area known as the United States was colonized by England.
They had 13 colonies. But understand the difference with what I'm trying to get at is that these 13 colonies were also occupied by them escaping Europe. The countries that they went to that were colonized wasn't people that went there occupied.
Right. That's a fair distinction. That's a fair distinction to me. Yeah, that's a fair distinction.
You understand me? So we have to look at these stuff when we
So what is this anti-democratic argument you're making, Omalo?
No, it's not. It's not an anti-democratic argument. It's an argument that when we have to tailor, we cannot just run with what is given to us as going to be what is going to solve our problems. We have to match what is given to us based on our problems, because then we will be making diagnosis and using medicines that really cannot solve our problems.
So if not democracy or this, as you say, this Western style of democracy, what would you put on the table in terms of a system of government?
But I didn't say not democracy, Tailored democracy to your system.
You want it tweaked.
Right. You don't want to go with the current model that we're working with.
I mean, and the argument is that Singapore did just that it tweaked.
Singapore did just that, tailor their democracy to their system.
Here's the thing. I've actually, and they say a little learning is dangerous. I've actually been wondering, whether the democratic project has been successful. I actually have been reflecting on that, because increasingly we see that democracy appears to be strained and in retreat globally, while the autocrats of the world seem to be on the rise. And even those who are in democratic countries, you see that their people are now turning to strong men and populist leaders who are cracking down on democratic freedoms. And I'm wondering if people are getting fed up of it and thinking it has not delivered for them. The question that you asked, though, Tyrone, about if not democracy, what else? That is what frightens me, because I don't know. I don't know what else. But I think we have to accept that the democratic model, underpinned as it is by capitalism in many parts of the world, it is under strain. It's on a serious strain, and it's not delivering for a lot of people.
The alternative is not an option.
I'm not going to go to where I was going to ask. I'm just going to finish with this. Yeah, and we must also look at what is happening in Asia and the rise of Asia and the rise of their citizenry and how they are being treated and how they are being developed. Also, we must also look at when you see some of the times given a constitution and the restraint of the constitution as to how government is supposed to operate inside of a democracy sometimes lead to the advantage of people doing wrong can get away with a lot of stuff, and it's tied government and making them unable to deal with situations that would make citizenry more better in that country. So that is why we have to understand by tailoring things to match our society rather than just using the manual given to us to deal with everything.
So like you're arguing for a benevolent despot.
All right, Omalo. Tyrone, you laugh. There are serious people who say that you probably need benevolent dictatorship. There are serious people who advance that argument.
Absolutely not. Perish the thought. Absolutely not.
Will you concede? Will you concede, though, that in many parts of the world, the democratic capitalist experiment has not delivered for a lot of people? Would you concede that? No,
it has its shortcomings. I will concede that, but certainly the alternative
is a bridge too far. All right,
because we see where that can lead you.
Fair.
Yeah, and if you look at and this is the thing, if you don't get deep into some of these countries that are run by despots, you don't necessarily see what they want, the image they're trying to put forward.
Yes.
You don't necessarily see all the human suffering that is taking place on the ground.
Yeah.
Because they cauterize all kinds of things. There's no free media, no free press. Look, the alternative cannot be countenanced. So let us stick with democracy and all our flaws.
And tweak it, as Omalo says.
Yeah, but not tweak it to become more
despotic.
Yes, not at all.
Michael.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Master Michael.
How are you this evening, sir?
We're doing well. How are you?
Give thanks.
You know, if you're on the mountain here in your class, I listen to what's going on in the world.
No, give thanks, man. How is the coffee?
Eh?
How is the coffee?
Well, the coffee still a go on, you know. Coffee still a go on. The farm look good still and thing, you know. But you don't know so well the low price and thing, but you don't know why me just a climate change, you know. Because I have a lot of light coffee this year. But whenever you're in the coffee business this season, when we talk about Mr. Trump, he win the new Nobel Prize.
No, he didn't win it, no.
All right, him get it hour.
No, man, he never get it.
No, he didn't win
it. Okay, me take a win and me win it.
No, man, Machado has won it.
Okay.
Maria Corina Machado.
Yeah. But what's going on in Israel and Gaza here now? They must try to make peace.
Yes, they're making some effort towards that.
Yes. Well,
They've agreed.
My blood coming about and growing in the country there, you know, man. Anyway, me know say some more listeners want to say something to you know, so me now take up no more time, you know, man. I don't have a good weekend and go and do what I do, you know, man.
All right, Michael.
All right, Master Michael. Have a good one.
Carl, good evening.
Evening, Ricardo. Evening, Tyrone.
Good evening. My boss. Speak up, yourself.
Tyrone, you know, if you stay too long out of Jamaica, now, let's maybe you come back here good as last, boy.
If you stay what?
If you stay too long out of Jamaica, let's maybe.
We can't close my move around my country. I know you say, brother.
I tell him, I'm going to tell you the place well developed, so you're not going to recognize it. Better that him I tell him.
Well, Ricardo, you want to give one next one?
I saw the Works Minister, quote unquote, reporting from the Troy Bridge.
Not even that. I want to tell you something.
If I was an editor, I would have refused that stand. If I were still an editor, I should say, I would have refused that stand up, you know. Have you seen it, Ricardo?
No, I didn't see it.
Ricardo.
Yes.
Before we go to what I'm going to say to you. When last you go up on Omar Road and turn from one road in the East Road, can get up on Spanish Town Road. We go down one auto parts place to carry somebody go buy one transmission. A carpenter run around the master.
Oh?
A carpenter run around there. But Anna, that me really call to tell you tonight.
Mm-hmm.
You know what happened? You know Longville Park, Ricardo?
Longville Park is in Clarendon?
Clarendon.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to give you a story tonight, and if economy never run good, this could not happen.
Mm-hmm.
You can take a JUTC bus from Longville Park now to Spanish Town, and if you have a card, you pay $100. No, you pay $50 if you have your card. And if you don't have a card, you pay $100. That is prosperity.
I hear you.
And all of this only can come true because we have a government in office where the economy is doing well. Now, so?
Yeah, tell me.
No, but you have to, we are holding a discussion, man.
We don't know about the bus. We don't know about the bus thing.
But I want to say something to you, Ricardo.
Uh-huh.
And hear how the people in from Longville Park now are safe now.
Uh-huh.
If you come from Phase 3 to go Old Harbor, you used to pay $250. And from Old Harbor to go to Spanish Town, you used to pay $270. That's in a morning alone, that will take you to $520.
Mm-hmm.
And you are now saving $840. That is prosperity.
So the bus is now offering a subsidized fare.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
You know, me no no sense.
No, me never say something does. I try to understand it because me never know the specifics. Well, yes, that is good. That's good. When you have more fiscal space, you can offer better services to your people, like transport. Yes.
So you see why September 3rd we have to choose Jamaica. couldn't choose Tapanaris. We could have never, for you to turn back a thing like this, you will be wicked to yourself. Because it will be pointed in your face and you turn it and say you don't want it. So when we see things like this and the development, I see all today, you hear the Prime Minister go break ground in a sentence to house. So that's why I tell my friend Tyrone, say, don't stay out of the country too long. And when him come back, he carry back in corrected age paper. Good night tonight, a Friday night.
Good night, sir. William.
Good evening, Ricardo. Good evening.
Good evening, William.
Yeah, before I go on, I call about listen, Omalo. That you there is a real thinking brother, and me as a listen him. He has, I think, can come up with some good sense. Thing makes sense. As I think. Anyhow, last night, I call because remember I was talking about we are disabled person and some of the challenges we're going through.
Yes. Did they reach out to you, the ministry?
No one no call me yet. And I surprised the behavior of Papa Nana.
Yes.
I normally used to listen, but right now I don't think I can listen again. Because I'm not a political caller. If you listen to what am I calling, I'm not talk about politics. I talk about issue, I talk about things that affect us and affect my brother and sister. This I talk about all the while.
Yes.
And most of we, especially in the disability group there, we have this challenge.
Yes, I was surprised by Papa Nana's strident comments last night.
Yeah, man.
Can you hear them? Papa Nana is usually reasonable.
Oh no, he was very unkind to William last night.
Oh, sorry to hear.
Yeah, my brother has politics, but me a PMP. I mean, where him get that from?
But whether or not you support the People's National Party, you have a right to advocate for the things that you've been advocating for the members of the disabled community.
And I get a few calls from my disability brother and sister. The man, I not even know that he also has a side problem.
Who is that? Who has a side problem?
Papa Nana. Last night me heard.
All right, let's not get into that now.
No, I'm not really saying anything about I say you must be careful of what he's saying about people.
Yes.
Right? You must be careful.
All right, hear you, William.
And yeah, take care, man.
But had you given the producer your number because the ministry had called back,
Yeah, man. I did give him from last night.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, man.
All right, William.
All right, Master William. Thank you.
Is today Carlene's birthday? Carlene Smith on YouTube. Can somebody confirm that today is Carlene's birthday? Carlene's today your birthday?
I think I know Carlene Smith. Come to think of it.
Oh yeah?
I think I know Carlene Smith.
No man, Carlene is one of the better ones. Carlene, confirm and let me know if it's your birthday. 630-937-124 618-8255. We're taking your calls.
As long as it's not Juliet Sanchez's birthday.
Juliet Sanchez. Leave Juliet alone. No, okay. Who done it? Good evening.
Yes, good night. You guys hear me well? Because I heard complaints when I look in the chat. That,
we're hearing you.
They're not hearing my voice.
Yeah, man, we're hearing you.
So I just want to ensure that you guys are hearing me. Is that Tyrone as well?
Yes, it is.
Tyrone, how you doing, brother? You're angling your bank?
We're trying blue bank, brother.
Yeah, man. There was a lot of fun, though, with William and Papa Nana. We want peace, So I was listening to it yesterday. It's a humorous in a sense, you know what I mean? Someone was saying that.
At first, yes, I thought Papa Nana was joking. But then he became quite serious.
Yeah, I realized that too. And we have to just take it easy, So we have matured so much, and I realize to senior person, So that's shipping though. The crime situation, Ricardo, maybe Tyrone. You're from a volatile here as well. But Ricardo, you're from East Side, no?
Yes.
One other thing I noticed were the South St. Andrew has continued to be the highest murder rate in Jamaica for some time. Been quite a while now.
The division.
The division, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm saying that when you really juxtapose that to Dr. Andrew Holness, West Central St. Andrew. And
you have to be careful there, you know. The division doesn't necessarily follow the constituency boundary lines. In fact, I think I can be corrected, but I think West Central St. Andrew, parts of it may actually fall in the St. Andrew South division. So it doesn't follow the police division doesn't follow perfectly the boundaries of the constituency. So when you hear South St. Andrew, it's not just
Ricardo and Tyra. If you know the history of that constituency,
yes,
with regards to where it's coming from, in the 1980 general election, right?
Yes.
Where over 800 persons were killed. That constituency with, I think it was a trip to the Yap and Carl Rush and Thompson.
That's West Central.
Most Jamaicans were killed from that constituency, and the crime situation in that constituency was off the chain.
Yes. Cliff did tell me that it was one of the most violent constituencies.
Where he has now brought that constituency to a relatively peaceful constituency, unlike what we saw happening now in South St. Andrew, which is the constituency of opposition leader Mark Golding. Now, when I look at it, I was just wondering if to really bring the crime rate down, is it, and I'm just throwing something in now, that they could legislate something in the parliament that if you are the chairman and the MP for a constituency, and for the last 2 elections, that constituency crime rate continue to be as such. You shouldn't be on the ballot box. And I just troubleshooting. What's your thoughts on it?
No,
I don't know that can be reasonable. That can be reasonable.
I wouldn't support that at all, my brother.
Right, how is that reasonable?
What do you think?
So you're holding the MP responsible for crime fighting?
It's subject to, it's subject to some sort of, where somebody could turn up the pressure or turn it on and sabotage. The police can basically,
it's not just about what the police can or cannot do in terms of turning it on and off. As Tyrone is correctly saying to you, you can't hold the lawmaker for crime fighting. Lawmakers don't fight crime, right? That wouldn't be the benchmark.
But you're the chairman. You're the chairman.
Yeah, but you don't.
You're the chairman of the.
But you don't. They don't control crime. How would they do that? How would you be accountable for that? What would be the benchmark?
What you can do now, if you, based on what you are in now, right? I think somebody needs to find out what Andrew Holness has done in West Central. Maybe he has probably have what you call a constituency conference. He has a regular meeting with his constituents. He has encouraged them to go to art, encouraged them to come and take up the solidarity offer those who want to have startup business, and among various other methods and various other things that you can do as the chairman of the constituency to bring about crime to an acceptable level, or at least zero in your constituency. So this Andrew Holness and what he has done in West Central needs to be studied. And
all right, so I hear you. All right, I hear you on West Central. How would you account for, there was a time when parts of Eastern St. Andrew, I'm thinking about places like Mountain View, were particularly violent. Eastern Kingston, parts of West Kingston. I don't know that you want to go down there. So Andrew Holness is fine. You want to credit him for the drop in murders in West Central St. Andrew.
Don't write it off.
No, I'm not writing it off. I'm just saying I don't know that you can take from that you'd make all MPs now responsible.
You're being chargeable. I'm writing it off. It's not a reasonable suggestion. It's entirely unreasonable. It's not reasonable.
When you look at the utterance from some persons who sort of incite violence, and the chairman as the constituent.
But I don't think I've ever. I don't think certainly that I can remember I've heard any member of parliament publicly inciting violence in their constituency. I can't remember hearing that.
Are you serious?
Give us an example of it in recent times. When has it happened?
Well, what about get wicked upon them? And what about other can be peaceful now?
No, so you see, I knew this was your ultimate game, that you wanted to say that Mr. Golding should be booted as member of parliament. I know this is where you were going. Hold on. You took a round. Wait now. Hold on. You took a long way to get to this point. I knew this was your ultimate aim. But needless to say, who done it? We reject the proposal. We don't think it is sound, but we're out of time. Thanks for the call. Boy, I know that's where he wanted to go, you know. Because you see him start with South St. Andrew, and they would have told him that it don't fit the constituency boundaries perfect. He say, all right, well, make we hold the MP responsible. The politics. We're out of time. Dana Dave, you're our producer. Thank you. Andrew Glenn Anderson. Me ask, it's not our birthday, books. Me play the song for Caroline, but them say it's not our birthday. September 1 she born. Me don't know them. Me don't know. My colleagues in the newsroom, thank you all so much. Our callers, contributors, and your valued listeners. Big up the YouTubers. My name is Ricardo Brooks.
And I'm Tyrone Reed. Good evening.